Hello, my name is Ryan, and trigger warning, I'm a vegan. How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining me for my Friday live stream, our Friday live stream, on a few minutes early tonight, 5 minutes earlier than normal. Normally I start at my time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so whatever time this is, mark this down in your calendars, have your Google or Apple calendars send you notifications, and whatever it takes to remember we do this all the time. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it next Friday, though. Next Friday's Angie's birthday. I haven't figured out how it's all going to work out yet, but I think it's still happening as far as I know. So let you know that slight possibility. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Welcome to another gathering of fellow vegans and people who are vegan friendly. And if you happen to not fit into either of those categories, say you are vegan hating or vegan antagonistic or something, all we ask is you are respectful. If you want to ask a question, a critical question of veganism, you're more than welcome to. I don't shy away from people trying to find flaws with veganism or have misconceptions about veganism, and I will answer it as just open. I thought I saw a comment there that something was broken. Bob's clock is broken, but is honest and with as much logic and evidence-based information as possible. So for the rest of us, so let's all gather and relax, kick back. This is our weekly vegan cult meeting because yes, veganism is a cult, and I just happened to step into the role of cult leader because someone's got to do it. You know, Earthing Ed and Joey Carbstrong are busy out in the streets, and you know, there's other vegans way more famous than all of us probably. I'm not aware of, but I'm just gonna step in and just do it. And you know, someone's got to be the vegan cult leader, so I'm gonna at least be the cult leader for a little while. Someone wants to take it up after my term, you know, have at it. Maybe we'll have an election or something like that. Hey Sarah, you were on Dr. Greger's webinar. He went over his new book, which I have a copy of. Right? Hang on one sec. All this stuff's all messed up. Yeah, I still gotta read it. He probably wants me to do a little review of it. How Not to Age. Thank you, publishers. What publishers again? Flatreon Books and Seth Cohen at Flatreon Books, I believe, who sent me this. Thank you so much. I will read Dr. Greger's book here. Okay, what do you see? 4-part online book club series. Super cool. Was anyone else there? No, I didn't even know about that, but I'll check it out. I mean, I read just a bit of it to get the gist. He's not really saying like, oh, if you're vegan, you won't age or something like that. It's some kind of like elixir of youth or something like that. No, it just has how to age so that you can live, hopefully, statistically, a longer life and with healthy, productive years in those, you know, you're into old age rather than just being stuck in a bed forever or something like that. So anyway, cool. I need to actually read that. Thanks for reminding me about that. And hey, Peter, are you going to be with us tonight? Let us know. And I haven't had a chance to make yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to apologize. Your cult leader here didn't have a chance to make any videos this week. I've kind of been every other week in January. I guess I've had a lot of weird stuff to take care of. I mean, a lot of us have to. If you're one thing it's been taking a bunch of my time is finance and tax stuff. You know, anyone who runs their own business, and I have several. You know, it's kind of complicated. I just don't get like one paychecks and that's my income or something like that. I have multiple streams of income, pretty much all like independent things. You know, either I'm a contractor or my own business, so it's kind of complicated. So I have to do a lot of stuff I normally don't have to do, like file taxes with like the state and stuff like that, start getting all my expenses together and start collecting all the forms that have been coming my way and get it all ready for a meeting with an accountant and hopefully in a month or so. So anyway, guys, yeah, I've been starting that whole process, and I actually haven't helped my mom with hers too now this year since she's not really like capable of doing it anymore. So anyway, our co-leader was busy, so I'm sorry I didn't get a regular video out this week. So hopefully next week. I hope I'll have some time like this weekend. But it's weird. We're going to have this crazy atmospheric rainstorm hitting us around Wednesday night, Thursday of next week, right in time for Angie's birthday at the end of the week. So I'm not sure how it's all going to go down. We're kind of saying we just need to like go out the next few days where it's going to be like 76 degrees and nice and beautiful, like fall-like weather before all hell breaks loose. We're supposed to get like 10 days of off and on storms. And you're going to get it too, Sarah, all you guys, everyone. Peter, I saw a map of the Pacific coast from like the border of where California and Mexico meet up all the way into Canada, where southern Canada, where Peter's at. The whole coast is lit up with on the radar with green
Happy
rain
birthday to Angie.
for Thursday, I think. So it's gonna be crazy. Hey, thanks, Dawn Jackson. I'll let you know, Angie. No, I just gave her first birthday gift here, $10 tip to Angie. So I'll make sure that goes straight to Angie. I'll treat her to something tomorrow on behalf of you, Dawn. So thanks so much. Sarah, your precipitation mostly comes in via snow. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. For me, that sounds kind of scary. What's that, Peter? There's literally a vegan jerky brand that's called F Vegan Jerky, and I'm not making up. It's not a satire. I'd like to check that out. But anyway, my point about all that crazy rain is, yeah, it's going to be starting late next week. It's going to be 10 days of storms, basically. Like storm on day 1, maybe a break on day 2, storm day 3, repeat that for like 10 days. So yeah, we might be trying to get out a little bit before we're going to be like just pretty much stuck here, holding it down. No, it's next Friday. Her birthday is next Friday, Peter. So I'm just saying there's a chance I might not do this live stream next week. We haven't fully discussed what we're going to do. I mean, we have some sort of plan already, but we're going to do it in the day. But if the rain's coming, it just kind of throws everything up in the air. So our already kind of weird plan is even weirder now. So I'm not sure what's going on exactly. Evolve. You want to talk about spiritual aspects of veganism? Give it a shot. What are you getting at? What's your angle on the spiritual aspects of veganism? Oh, Sarah, thank you so much. So kind of you guys. Happy birthday, Angie. It's okay to take a Friday off in honor of your fair lady. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we might be back anyway, because if our plan goes as planned, our plan is we're going to do something in the morning and afternoon, and we're old. We get tired. I don't think we're going to be out still at this time of the day. We'd be pretty beat and mentally and physically sore feet and everything from walking a lot. So the plan was that we probably would have been back here anyway, but I'm not sure how it's all going to go down now with the rain. But yeah, thanks for the tip there, the super chat, Sarah, and I'll tell Angie you guys are already giving birthday gifts to her, and I'll keep in mind that maybe next Friday I won't be here. I don't know. We will see. Odds are we'll probably be back whatever we do, because it gets cold, and it'll even if it doesn't rain Friday, it's gonna be like really cold and probably windy and stuff too. Peter, do a live stream with Angie for her birthday. No, for her birthday gift, she doesn't want to see any trolls or haters. Not to see, Peter is a good moderator and you wouldn't like block the trolls and haters and stuff like that. But say some gets, and that's the last thing she wants to see. Some just got, you guys are gold, you're vegan, blah, blah, you look horrible, you died. We don't want to. We don't want to expose her to that kind of negativity on her birthday. It's a good idea though, Peter. Well, for the subscribers, maybe. We'll see. That's a possibility. You have a good point there. That's how we prevent those kinds of hateful messages and ideas and thoughts and intentions from crossing her consciousness. So, let's see. Evolve travel, simple, right and wrong, hard to eat meat and be connected spiritually, don't you think? I don't know how to answer that one. My intuition is I don't think that's a true statement. But to vegans though, like me, it makes there's something that rings kind of right about that. But I think it might be our biases trying to make that statement true when I don't think it is. Because I discovered my spirituality back before I was vegan. That's why I'm kind of skeptical of that claim. And I can't say with any kind of absolute certainty that my spirituality is like stronger now as a vegan or not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just basing it off my personal experience. Maybe that's not the best way to answer that question, but if you're making a statement about all people, you can include a subject group of one subjects because all you need is one to disprove that. So I think that's a fair way of looking at that as far as trying to find a counterexample. Yeah, members only could work, sir. I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind for sure. What's that, Karina? I'm a Wiccan, and the only rule is if you harm none, then do as you will. And to me personally, that means not harming animals. Yeah, I mean, just to harm none. Like none what? Just, are they referring to just people, or just all like sentient beings capable of being harmed, experiencing harm and fear and having their rights violated? So yeah, it sounds like some kind of like idea of behind veganism, right? It sounds like it to me. What's that, Fu? You tried to fund some cult memberships? Well, that's a nice intention there, Fu. Another epic fail for tech loser, Fu. I don't know if anyone can give you some tips on how. I've never done it yet, so I wish I could give you some first-hand troubleshooting or advice or something like that. And yeah, I agree with AJ. Hey, AJ, yeah, food doesn't suck. You know, tech can be really confusing. Not only for us old folks, us Gen Xers, but also I see younger people, Gen Zers and younger, having a hell of a time working through some technology as well. So, you know, I really think it's the people that are older than Gen X, like boomers. I remember seeing an interview with Duran Duran. You know, they're just a few years older than us, but I think they're technically boomers, being like 3 or 4 years older than me and Angie. Anyway, they said, yeah, they were talking about themselves. We were like the last generation to grow up without like having computers like in high school and stuff like that. You know, they went through their whole education and didn't touch computers. I mean, I started touching computers in high school. I got my first computer, Commodore 64, when I was a sophomore. So I was probably like, you know, hacking around on computers at school as a freshman and stuff. So I'm saying, yeah, I grew up with tech, but I think the generation right before us, the boomers, I think that's probably why they have a little more trouble. Not because that they're older, and that doesn't help, you know, anything. You know, your mental powers, you know, are known to decline over time. But I think it's the bigger factor is probably just not having grown up with tech. But you're a Gen Xer, right? So you're probably in the same boat as me, you know? Yeah, Fritz. Yeah, a lot of us couldn't have calculators in high school because it's cheating. It's like, who cares if you have a bunch of numbers from now? Let me just add it up so I can get to the real formula. I just want to get the arithmetic part handled. Okay, AJ's talking to Bob. Spiritualist to me means I don't follow a particular religion, but I have a deep belief in God and to the golden rule. I mean, yeah, there's different ways to be spiritual and different ways to be religious, AJ. I agree 100%. Like in Buddhism, it's, you know, there's very ritualistic schools of Buddhism, you know, temples and schools of thought that have it very ritualistic, kind of like it almost resembles like a like what people typically do in a Christian church setting, you know. But you don't have to do that to be Buddhist. Buddha didn't do that. He didn't go to Buddha church when he was a kid, Buddha and teenage Buddha, and you know, he didn't have all these Buddhist priests around him and Buddhist scripture. He got enlightened. He found discovered the Five Noble Truths and all that, and discovered enlightenment and shared that with the world. That, you know, so if you just do that, you know, so I'm saying there's different ways to follow a spiritual path, a religious path, and just because one person does it one way doesn't mean all other people must do that religion or all religion in that one particular person's point of perspective. That's very kind of self-centered and ignoring that there's other ways of being religious or spiritual than the one unique way that you just coincidentally happened to have stepped into it. Hey Peter, if you truly believe in the teachings of Buddha, yeah, I agree, because wouldn't you automatically just be vegan? Yeah, Buddhism, like other Eastern religions, has elements of, I see Buddhism in it, not harming sentient beings, you know. That's why I don't understand why so many Buddhists aren't vegan, or at least vegetarian, you know. I mean, for heaven's sake, I don't understand. If you really are concerned about having compassion for all sentient beings, that is something in Buddhism, having compassion for all sentient beings, not just humans, but all sentient beings. I don't understand how they could just eat a hamburger or some beef jerky or something like that. I point out beef jerky because I've been to Buddhist rituals, in Buddhist temples where they hand out some kind of beef jerky. Then they're aware that not everyone is cool with that, and they have a vegetarian or vegan version as well. So anyway. So, let's see. Peter says, if I do a subscribers only live next week, I will definitely come, and you can set it that people have to be subscribed for a certain length of time to even comment, and even subscribers you time out. Huh, okay, I'll see if I can set that up. I've never tried to set it up quite like that before, but yeah, I guess I'm stuck in the ways that I know of and don't know all the particular ways I can tweak our live stream. Yeah, there's the one that I'm doing right now, everyone's here, and then there's the members only. But yeah, maybe I could do one just for subscribers and only subscribers can comment. I'll check that out. I'll look at all the settings and preferences and see what I can do. Bob Hill, Buddha invented the best bowls. Nope, I don't know if Buddha ever ate a Buddha bowl. I think that's just something that Westerners invented later on. Yeah, I'm with you, AJ and Sarah. Nature is much better than tech, for sure. Sarah's a Luddite with the tech, but you live with your bestie, and you said your bestie's a nerd, geek, tech, and I say all those words without any condescension. I'm a nerd, geek, tech type person as well. Everyone needs a bestie like him, or else wouldn't function without him. Yep, I'm the one that keeps all the tech. Angie's good at it too, but I'm the one, when things break, I'm the guy that, gets down and dirty. Let's see, Ali Brand. I guess nothing is ever a mandate in Buddhism. I wouldn't call myself a Buddhist scholar, so I wouldn't want to make a definitive statement on mandates in Buddhism, but I don't think there's mandates in Buddhism from how I've understood it. It's not like commandments, like the 10 Commandments. Those are like laws, like mandates, right? Buddhism's not quite as authoritarian. Is that the right word? I'm not saying these words in a negative. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make the distinction. It doesn't have that kind of you have to do this or you're gonna be effed up for eternity or something like that. Just, hey, here's what you got to do if you want to reach enlightenment. If you don't, cool, just keep being reborn, reincarnated, or transmigration of the soul from human to lower life forms. Maybe, who knows? If you don't have to get enlightened, just keep doing the circle of life that we've all been doing. It's all good. That's pretty much it. Anyway, what's that, Peter? You're saying TVG, they're not interested in debunking veganism. It's more just a casual, relaxing live stream. Yeah, if there's someone here that wants to try to debunk veganism, is there a TVG person here? Let me take a look. I don't see anyone. If someone wants to try to debunk veganism, you can, But yeah, that's not the purpose of this live stream. But I left it open for people. If they think that veganism really sucks, just come here. We'll give you a couple minutes to state your point, and we'll answer you briefly and precisely, then move on to other business. Unless you debunked veganism, then we all have to quit tonight. That's the risk of every Friday live streams. You know that, right, guys? Every Friday night, veganism is on the line. It could just go away. I mean, if someone comes on this live stream tonight and says the right words, we're done. Veganism as we know it will be over. The cult's done. The definition of veganism will get erased from the vegan society. And, it's risky business, what I'm saying, every Friday night. Not the movie, but veganism is in a precarious state for the 2 odd hours I'm on every Friday of disappearing forever. Anyway. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about, those vegan guys. Okay, all right, I got it, Peter and AJ, thanks for the clarification. But that's what we do here, too. We listen to people who, briefly give them a little tiny bit of time to say their point, their example, or their argument, which they never do. They just don't know how to argue or anything. They just repeat nonsense they heard from, carnivore influencers on TikTok or something like that. Uncle, yeah, good point. Hey, Uncle, yeah, if you do Buddhism wrong, you'll just keep being reborn and born again until you become vegan. Oh, Gianni, your Friday night plans got canceled last minute. I hate getting my hopes up and then it gets assaulted. But thank God I'm here. And I'll have everybody in the chat to keep you company while you can. Well, cool, Gianni. I mean, cool not that your plans got canceled. That sucks. But, it's cool that we're here. Like I said, every Friday. Next Friday's a slim chance. I might not because it's Andrew's birthday, but I probably will. But I'm just saying, yeah, we're here tonight for sure. It's happening right now, barring any technical problems or something like that. Fritz says it's hard to debunk the desire to avoid animal cruelty. Oh no, it's really easy for people that don't have that desire. In fact, they find people like us who have that desire to avoid animal cruelty. They think people, it triggers us. That's why I started my live stream. Hey, my name is Ryan, and trigger warning, I'm vegan, because just the mere fact of you being vegan, you don't have to even say anything about it. Like, oh, veganism's so cool, it's for the animals and blah, blah. You don't have to say anything. Just the fact that you're vegan, people get triggered. So it is a trigger warning for a lot of precious snowflake types of that are out in the internet and the real world these days. People are such precious snowflakes. When they hear that someone's vegan, they get triggered and start lashing out and hating on you. But yeah, I agree. To a reasonable person like you and I, it seems like it's a hard thing to get triggered by that. But most of these 99.99% of these people that get triggered about veganism, they're not reasonable people. Let's see, Peter. You're saying other YouTubers like those vegan guys that do live streams, just make it really casual and only let subscribers only, no debunking. Well, I guess I let the debunking in because they're not as these anti-vegans that come to debunk veganism. They're not as many of them as we used to have before when I really needed the moderators on every second. It's pretty chill now. So they don't monopolize our time as much as they probably unfortunately did in the past, and I'm to blame for that. I'm sorry. But those vegan guys, they're probably not trained in philosophy and critical thinking like I am. If they are, sorry guys, but I'm just saying I have no problem using my critical thinking skills and evidence-based information to refute someone briefly. Give them just the amount of time they deserve, briefly, if they're here to say how veganism is such a horrible, bad thing and we're all bad people are going to die or something like that. I'll say, hey, here's the facts. You deal with it. If you don't want to believe me because you're stupid or closed-minded or whatever, that's your business, But at least I told you the facts, and if you want to believe Joe Rogan instead, that's on you. Yeah, Muthulan, I agree. There is nothing to debunk, really. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. It's a belief I have. Yes, I agree. Animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong, and I don't want to eat them and stuff like that. Yeah, how do you debunk that? Be surprised how many people don't understand that, and they think it's something that can be debunked. So I try to show, no, you just don't debunk veganism. It's like impossible. Not because it's so airtight, but it is completely logically and rationally and morally airtight, but you just can't debunk it. It's a belief that we have that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong. But I agree with you. Yeah, with the line, there's nothing to debunk, but you'd be surprised how many people just don't understand it. Why? Because they instantly, without thinking rationally, they get triggered. They just emotionally let themselves get triggered when they see or hear the word vegan. Simple as that. Joseph, yeah, it's a great question. What does prevent you from going vegan? Well, most people will do one of two things. First, I think a common answer is they'll say, I just have no desire. I don't care about animal cruelty and exploitation. They'll say, I think that stuff's totally cool, and go through all these mental gymnastics that don't make any sense as to why it is. Or they'll just make up excuses. Like, I hear a lot of people, I would like to go vegan. They like to pretend like I care about animals at heart. I care about the environment at heart. But I can't go because of fill in the blank. My culture, because of vitamin B12, because they'll just make up some excuse. I need iron. Like, yeah, you can get all that stuff as a vegan. And that's part of what I do here. Just let them know the excuse that they're clinging on to can be discarded. Don't cling to that anymore. Just let it go, because that excuse doesn't make any sense. Just let it go because it's irrational. Uncle, can ask about music and love spirals. Yeah, feel free. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of love spirals and music work this week as well. Jill, how can we convince more people to go vegan? Do we encourage baby steps? I can't figure it out how to help people go vegan. Well, first, they need to have the desire to go vegan. So that's the easiest way. It's not getting into fights with people like certain other vegan YouTubers like to have debates. They think that's going to make people go. I've never seen anyone at one of those debates. Your words were so strong and correct. I'm going vegan now. No, they're just more pissed off than ever. No, I think you just have to find people who are open to ideas about veganism. That's why I encourage non-vegans to come to our live streams, watch our videos, because I'm not going to be one of these a-hole vegans that's all high and mighty and sits on this moral high horse and proclaims, I am better than all you non-vegans. I'm so cool. All you non-vegans should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys are bad people and blah, blah. I'm not going to say that. Just like I was a non-vegan before, and I'm sure that those YouTubers I'm talking about were non-vegans before. So, it's a process of, it doesn't happen for everyone like overnight. They just go vegan. For me, it took many years to finally say, hey, I'm going vegan 100%, 24/7, never looking back. The first step is to find people who are open. Some people will never go vegan. They just, whatever. They don't want to hear it. They don't care about animals. Good luck convincing them, because you're probably not going to. So yeah, I look for people that come into our live streams like Bob Hill. That's why I haven't banned him or anything like that, because sometimes he upsets us and stuff and all, but he's open to it. He'll bring in some counterpoints that he thinks are wrong about veganism. Like I was going through the poop wall, this stuff today, and I was looking at the last comment so I could erase it and have it fresh. When I saw Bob talking about Joey Carpstrong saying some things supposedly, but also I'm here to set records straight when I have evidence and to respond to such questions. Anyway, so what do you guys let's see, Fu, you've been fasting from 7 p.m. to noon for the last week. Wow, how's that going for you? Going good? Wow, okay, good for you. Jill's telling Bob you're not perfect. Why are you telling Bob you're not perfect, Jill? Yeah, no one's perfect. None of us are perfect. Anyone who claims they're perfect is lying. Yeah, I like Joey too. Peter, that's an interesting statistic. There are about 4 carnivore doctors on YouTube that used to be raw vegans. Huh, interesting how they used to be raw vegans. Not just like normal vegans, like how, you're supposed to eat as a vegan. Nowhere in the definition of veganism does it say, oops, wrong. Well, let's look at like what, all these health organizations say about veganism. Does it say like, if you're vegan, you have to give up cooking all your food? No more cooking your potatoes, no more steaming your broccoli. It has to be all raw fruits and vegetables. No, nowhere in it's just like people who think veganism means some kind of woo-woo, super non-toxic health kind of thing, whatever, that fall for these weird fatty trends. And that's what really raw veganism and carnivore have in common, is that they're exclusion diets, and they're very trendy, and there's a lot of grifter leaders and influencers, content creators in both of those movements that put out a bunch of nonsense, non-evidence-based information. That's what I mean by nonsense, non-evidence-based information. Anecdotal stories, I ate nothing but whatever raw thing for so many years and all these problems went away. Great, let's see if the science can back that up. Yeah, anyone could tell their story, and that's cool, but I'm saying that's not a substitute for science. But anyway, let's keep going on. Oh, someone said I ran for office once in Southern California. I want to force people to have a cult. What are you talking about? Hey, I know you probably got timed out, but if you want to come back, please tell me how running for a local office one time equates to turning people into a cult. I want to hear the connection. You bring your logic, because you have like premise A. He ran for office, and then conclusion, he wants to turn everyone into a cult. So please connect the dots. Like, Ryan ran for office once as premise 1. Premise 2 would be anyone who runs for office wants to make a cult. Therefore, Ryan wants to make a cult. See, I made a logical argument. Two premises that lead to a conclusion. Your argument was not an argument. Ryan ran for office. Ryan wants to make everyone into a cult. So yeah, connect the dots, bruh. If I can quote Sarah there, connect the dots. I connected them for you. Maybe that's how you wanted to connect them. And thank God I'm here using my philosophy that I was schooled in to do that for you. Are you happy I made your argument for you? Or is your argument even better than that? If so, show it to me. Show me your argument, brah. Yeah, Sarah, make no mistake, this is a cult. Veganism is 100% a cult. You know, we're totally a cult. And I'm the cult leader. You know, I'm a narcissist. I run a cult. That's how it works, right? You cannot be a cult leader without being a narcissist. So anyway, let's get back to our serious discussions here. I know someone will probably use a clip of that, and I'm just being facetious there. Anyway, this is the best cult ever, AJ. I agree with you 100%. This is the best cult. You didn't even know what cult meant when you went vegan? Ah, see, that's how sinister we are. You didn't even know what was happening to you. Yeah, everyone, listen to Peter here. Everyone like this live stream. Not only like it in your mind, but let YouTube know you like it to get it more into the algorithm. Let them know what an awesome cult we have. Jill, you went vegan after Gary Yourofsky's greatest speech on YouTube over 7 years ago. Awesome. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that was a biggie for them. Fritz, are we in the inner circle of veganism? Yeah, if you're in my cult here, the vegan cult, yeah, you're in the inner circle of veganism. Don, well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I'm probably not going to run for politics ever again, but I'm glad I did. I was, like I said many times, it was kind of cool to be on the other side, seeing how it works from behind the Wizard of Oz curtain. You know what I'm talking about? Rather than just from the voters' perspective, the citizens' perspective. It's good to be on the inside and actually see how politics works. And I learned a lot, and I'm sure if I ever did again, I'd be way more prepared. Yeah, Peter, yeah, there you go. Another former raw vegan, Dave Asprey. You know, all these people that follow these trendy raw woo-woo diets made his own new his new woo-woo diet, not vegan, putting butter in coffee. It's funny how people who get hooked into raw get hooked into other things that are not vegan later on. Just so weird. But yeah, if you're raw and it works for you, I'm not saying don't do it, but you know, some people actually who are raw vegan are actually into it for the right reasons. They're vegan, they just happen to like the raw stuff, and that's totally cool. But you're in the minority. Most people I see who do raw vegan diets are just kind of in it for like some trendy thing. They perceive it as bestowing this optimal human health thing because it's the natural human diet of our ancestor apes and stuff like that. When they learn after a few years nothing really good happens, then they move on to some new thing, trendy thing, because they didn't come for animal cruelty and exploitation reasons. They came looking for some magic potion of health or something like that. And yeah, it makes you healthy. I know how healthy raw is for most people, because I see most people develop all these gastrointestinal issues, and they make YouTube videos about it 5 years later. That's why I say just eat a regular vegan diet. Sensible, balanced vegan diet. Alex, your cardiovascular endurance has improved drastically. You're probably doing a lot of training too. My point would be to you, Alex, and that's good. Thanks for sharing that. My point would be that if you had probably done no training or decreased your training and just switched to a whole food plant-based diet, I don't see how that can improve your cardiovascular endurance. But if you're doing the same training that you were doing before and you're eating more whole foods now, I believe that. I think that could be a little extra just optimization and performance is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you still have to train. There's no substitute for training. Ferris, Ryan acts like a chill guy, but deep down, he wants to unleash his narcissistic desires, and we all know it. Well, do you have a point? Do you have an argument you want to make, or are you just trying to like slander or something like that? Is that? I mean, I'm not going to debunk that. So is that all you want to say to us, Ferris? If so, you can leave. Thank you for sharing your opinion about me being a narcissist. It's funny, the person who starts off, at least last year's live streams and videos, the live stream that's not, the YouTube channel is not hosted by a narcissist, sociopathic grifter. It happens to be a narcissist in your opinion. But first, if you have a serious question, rather than some kind of emotional opinioned accusation about me, if you have a question that we can debate about veganism, feel free to ask me. If you're just going to sit here and just give me these negative, slanderous opinions about me being a narcissist, and I'm sure you're not a psychologist or anything like that, that's your last one you're going to get. Okay? Got it, bro? But yeah, right, Ditlow, he's probably projecting, right? He could be joking. He could be joking. You're right. If you were joking, I apologize. I thought you were the person that got timed out earlier. That's why I responded in the tone that I did. I may have made the wrong connection there. And if so, I apologize. I just have a simple human brain. Veganism does not give me super brain powers. But yeah, it could have been a joke, and I apologize if so. That was really mean of me if that was a joke. Oh, that's too bad. Peter, you might not have anybody running for the Animal Protection Party there in Canada. I guess you'll have to vote for a different party. The Green Party has the closest to animal rights, but they are not vegan. Yeah. Yeah, Muthu Lion. Yeah, the reason I may have misunderstood the intention, if it was a joke, is that a sarcasm doesn't work well on the internet. Oh, Ferris is back. Let's see if Ferris is just saying, no kidding, it's okay, bro, I was just joshing. There are a bunch of things in your room that are not vegan right now. That water bottle is probably made from animal exploitation. This is the Coldest. It's a very well-known brand. You know, many YouTubers use Coldest. Okay, but if you're going to come here and hurl an accusation, can you fact check that for us, Ferris? Can you tell me how this was made? I don't see any animal products on here. I don't know what this metal-ish substance is. There's plastic. How can this be made from animal exploitation? Just kind of curious. Does Ferris know something that I don't? That Coldest water bottles are not, they're made out of leather or something like that. It's so easy for people to accuse human exploitation. Do you have any facts about that? Do you know how or where they were made? And probably. And veganism, when you get down to it, is not about human exploitation. You said there's things that are not vegan, and let's educate you on as to what veganism is. Oops. It's about animal cruelty and exploitation. Yeah, I agree. Human exploitation is wrong. I don't support human exploitation. I try my best to not support products that are based on human exploitation, but it stands against animal cruelty and exploitation. So even if this thing was made 100% with human exploitation, the workers are being whipped the whole time, not getting paid and everything, and punished all the time, it would still be vegan, because vegan is all about animal cruelty and exploitation. So good try there. Do you want to point out anything else in this room while we're here? I'll give you one more shot, and then we'll send you off on your way wherever you came from. Any other things? You said there's a bunch of things in this room that are not vegan. I'll give you one more. You want to have a productive discussion? You want me to meet up with someone who dislikes me? No, I mean, if I'm going to meet up with someone, it's going to be someone like Sarah or AJ. People are cool. Why would I meet up with and I've known them for a long time, many years. I'm not going to randomly meet up with some random person that just randomly appeared on my most recent live stream. Are you serious? No, that's not how it works here. But I will allow you to tell me, list one more thing in this room that's not vegan. Just kind of curious, okay? You said there's a bunch of things. You point out this water bottle wasn't vegan, and I showed you by the definition of vegan, it's got to be. There's no way. I mean, there's no animal products. And anyway, show me one more thing in this room that's not vegan. Then we'll send you off. Food, TMI. The poop sound I accidentally hit there was appropriate. It kind of was. Yeah, there are a lot of people from British Columbia and Canada here, which is cool. It's our time zone. We all share that on the West Coast here. Yeah, Allison, human rights aren't the reasons why people go vegan. It's like, wow, I heard about all this human rights violations in a certain place of the world. I'm going to stop eating animals now. See how that makes no sense? Okay. Ferris says, isn't veganism against all sentient exploitation? And I can see, I really don't want to engage. Sorry about my remarks. Well, again, let me show you the definition here. Isn't it? Well, why ask me? Let's just look at the definition. It's a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals. Animals. We're not talking about humans. I know humans are technically animals. If you look at the history of this definition, it's all about humans. If we scroll down, I'll show you my point. It's about humans not exploiting animals. If you go back to its original definition from 1949, this is it right here. I'm going to highlight it. Oops, wrong one. The principle of the emancipation of animals from exploitation by man. So Leslie Cross in 1949, when he first formulated a definition of veganism, drew a wedge. He made a distinction between animals and humans, because humans are the ones that are exploiting the animals. So it's not this is and I agree, like I said, I'm not promoting human exploitation. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to clarify what the definition of veganism says and doesn't say, and it's really clear. The words are here in black and white. There's no ambiguity. This is about animal cruelty and exploitation. Ergo, therefore, why vegans, if they believe in this definition here of veganism, don't consume animal products. Like I said, no one said, oh man, I'm against like how people are treated in factories in China or India or whatever, so I'm going to stop eating animal products. Doesn't make any sense. They're totally different concepts as far as like there's some similarities, exploitation, but veganism is specifically a concept about animal cruelty and exploitation. So anyway, here we go. Back to our regular programming, I should say here. Peter adds, although if you care about human rights, you would also want to be vegan, right? Right, Fritz? Or not Fritz, what was his name again? Sorry, I thought it's Ferris. Ferris, isn't it true what Peter's saying here? If you care about human exploitation and human rights, wouldn't it follow that you care about animal exploitation and animal rights? And therefore, Ferris, why aren't you vegan if you're not vegan? If you're concerned about human exploitation, why are you not concerned about animal exploitation? Just kind of curious. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to, but there's a certain logical connection between the two. Oh, okay, you're considering vegan. Good for you. Awesome. And I'm not here to ridicule you. I'm just trying to understand your thinking. Yeah, great point, Peter. Talking about human exploitation and human abuse is a known fact. I'm going to read Peter's comment verbatim here. Slaughterhouse workers are some of the most abused and exploited humans on the planet. There's super high turnover. There's PTSD, mental health issues for current and former slaughterhouse workers. It's a horrible, just nightmare, hellish environment to be in for not only the animals as they're being slaughtered and processed, but for the humans who are doing the slaughtering and processing. It's like hell on earth, as close as you can have to that. So yeah, if you're against that kind of human cruelty, human exploitation, human suffering, you shouldn't force humans to have to provide for their family, to get money to put on the table for their family by forcing them to these horrible, horrific, hellish jobs. Thanks, AJ. I was like your comments when you leave your super chat tips. Thank you, AJ. Very, very kindly there. For the make Ryan the less autocratic fun. Just kidding, obviously. Is someone arguing here that I'm autocratic? People have argued that or asserted that before. I don't think I've seen anyone argue that, but people assert any old thing they want, right? But yeah, thanks for that. And if I missed something, let me know. If Ferris wants to know if I ever would consider opening up a community Discord, yeah, I created an account on Discord, but I don't know what the hell to do with it. I don't have time to like sit there and promote it or something like that. So no, I don't think that's my social media platform. As cool as it is, it's kind of nerdy and geeky and doesn't have the nice user interface that say like a platform like this or the other big ones have. So I don't think it's for me. I'm too much of a Luddite for that platform, for Discord. Even though I've gone on it a few times, I just don't click to it. It doesn't click with me. It doesn't stick. But yeah, if you like it, cool. So Ryan Ferris called me in this stream. He called me that. He called me autocratic. Oh, okay. I didn't remember being autocratic. Well, Ferris, let me ask you one more question. We'll let you go here. How am I autocratic? Be specific. Give me examples of how I have demonstrated autocratic tendencies, autocratic behaviors, anytime in my vegan social media or even my music social media. Let me know what you're talking about, that I am somehow an autocrat. You can assert that, but I would love to see your support for that assertion. So please give me examples, real examples, not vague, ambiguous, non-specific things. Please just tell me something specific about how I have exhibited autocratic behaviors or tendencies. Okay, you took that back. That was when you first said it. So then why did you say that? If you took it back, okay, but why even come in here and announce yourself with such a very unkind and what I believe is totally false accusation? Why'd you do that? What was your intention? What does autocrat mean, Peter? Hey, I'm not an expert in that, but it's like fascist, dictator, authoritarian type. Kind of like, like what Ron DeSantis was trying to fancy himself as. No dissing politics. He's trying to put that. I'm going to come in, I'm going to burn all stuff and books and own the libs and do all this. I want to call the shots and screw the law, that kind of thing. I debunked it, so that's why you took it back. Okay. Steph says Discord requires a lot of babysitting. No, don't want that. Don't want any additional babysitting or maintenance work and maintaining things and keeping an eye on things. I don't have to. I want my social media life to be more automated and less baloney stuff, less malarkey that I have to take care of and maintain. Yeah, it's like I was wondering when he's going to finally drop out. Speaking of DeSantis, I mean, yeah, he had zero chance really with his percentages he was pulling in. So anyway, who's the NDP? The Democratic Party, the National Democratic Party, asked me if I was associated with any group, referring to the mass vote action that people took to vote vote in a specific candidate democratically. And Bob doesn't like that, right? He doesn't like political organization around non-GOP candidates, right, Bob? You got triggered. You've heard the NDP are even worse than the liberals. I don't know, whatevs, I don't know how to point. Who are the liberals exactly? How what's the distinction here? How is the National Democratic Party not comprised or composed of the liberals? And who are the liberals exactly? Am I the liberals? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, all right, cool. Tell me who these liberals are. Yeah, it's such a disaster right now. Yeah, inflation is finally under control. The Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates because of that. The stock market has reached an all-time high in the past, for the first time in several years in this past week. Doesn't look like a economic mess. I mean, yeah, I know there's economic problems. Rent's too high, mortgages are too high, particularly because of interest rates. People are losing their jobs. People can't afford the cost of living. But there are some markers that show it's not going to hell right now. Anyway, I'd rather take a weekend at Biden's than an hour of, like, say, the Trump or DeSantis's world. I'll take a full weekend hanging out in Biden's world than the Trump world. That's just my take. If you don't like that, Bob, it's cool. I'm just giving you my opinion. When you say weekend at Biden's, it doesn't sound like a bad thing to me. Yeah, Dow is up over 12% from a year ago, and that's the Dow. That's the more conservative metric. If you look at the broader market, the S&P 500, over the last year, the S&P 500 is up over 1 year. It's up over 75%. So if you had $100,000 in the stock market a year ago, you would have $175,000. If we're talking like a broad index fund like the S&P 500, and yeah, the Dow is Dow Jones up in 1 year. Oh, how come I don't have percents now? Dang it! I lost my numbers here. 1 second. Ugh. My phone is tripping. Okay, there's percents. Okay. Yeah, 12.16%. Uncle, your numbers are correct. And if you had to invest in, like, say, the NASDAQ, the tech market, you would be up over 20%. So, yeah, not too shabby. Was that right there? I'm questioning if I got the NASDAQ right with 75. I'm sorry, the S&P 500. Okay, that was 20%. I knew something was off. Yeah, 20%. So if you invested $100,000 a year ago, you'd have $120,000 right now. But yeah, Biden, he's wrecked it. Anyway, let's just move on. I'm not trying to defend anyone. I'm just saying, I know certain people of certain political parties like to portray our economic situation in a certain way. But there's, inflation's been controlled. Fed Reserve said so much so that they're going to lower interest rates this year from these like 20-year highs. So if any of you guys, especially you millennials out there, have been saving up to buy a house and these 6-7% interest rates on a 30-year fixed mortgage are making it impossible, well, hang on, keep saving your money. Rates, they're predicting maybe 3 or 4 rate cuts this year, so we'll see where they're at. So we're not here to debate the virtues of either party or who would you rather spend a weekend with or anything like that, unless you want to spend a weekend with me or something like that. Anyway, Peter, unfortunately, that's what it's looking like. The same two extremely old candidates that ran for president last time 4 years ago. Looks like they're even 4 years older now. They're going to be running again. How come we can't get another like Gen X presidential candidate? What happened to that? Or someone younger, a millennial presidential candidate? Yeah, it's like too old. My mom's like, just a few years older than Biden, and I don't trust her to run her finances or anything. That's why I'm taking charge of her stuff. It's like, it's a bit old. I'm not ageist or anything, but come on, we have many qualified, fine candidates who have strong mental powers, strong minds and memories. How come they're not able to step in and be the nominees? Yeah, Sarah, anyone who could string 2 non-fallacious sentences together. I'm going to add that. You string two sentences that utter or reflect truth about this world. That'd be a huge step. I'll take that. So anyway, let's not make this all about politics. I don't know how I even accidentally went down that road. It must have been something I said. And let's just move on, I mean, yeah, it's all going to be on our minds this year with it being an election year and stuff. Uncle, that's why your mom delegated the task to you. She's smart. It's not only that, Uncle, but I was smart enough. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything, but I was just observant. I could see what was going on. I go, okay, if I don't step in to help her, she's gonna have a lot of trouble. So I'm just rising to the moment, let's say, just dealing with what I think needs to be done, because she's not getting any better mentally as she gets older. It's just worse and worse. So I gotta do something. Oh, your mom did the same thing to you, Uncle? Cool. So yeah, you know what that's like to actually have to step in and take charge, take control of things that are just too complicated for them to do any longer, like making sure their bills are paid, stuff like that, making sure that they get their taxes handled, because that's really complicated. Even when you're young, getting your taxes handled is really stressful and complicated and confusing. Imagine if you're 80 something years old. Oh, Gavin's from Marin. I knew he's from the Bay Area. I didn't know he's from Marin. What do you know? What city or town, whatever you guys call them, Marin? Which one is he from? Just kind of curious. See if it's from a really fancy one, fancy zip code. God help you if you're still alive at 80. The thing is, that's what Dr. Greger's book's all about, Heidi. Let me get his book again. He's showing how 80 years old ain't that bad. I mean, watch like that Centurion show on Netflix. You see like the Okinawans and the Loma Linda Centurions here in California. They're fine. They're doing really good. I mean, their mental powers seem like they're like rival mine or something. Maybe that says more about me than them. But anyway, I'm saying that's what it's about having your mental and physical abilities still going pretty good for you as you age, because we can't stop aging. That's inevitable. It's unchangeable. But what is changeable is how we age. We don't all have to get weak. I mean, there's certain things. You could have a medical condition, an accident. There's things that could, even if you do everything as he says here, there's still things that could prevent you. But he's giving you information on how you can age and not necessarily be forced to be weak and not be able to move for your last 10 years and then not be able to think clearly. So he's showing you how to age as good as you can, to give it your best shot given your lifestyle, your genetics, and family disease history, stuff like that. Heidi, I know it, Ryan, and you read it, but I don't want to. Yeah, no one wants to age, Heidi. I agree with you 100%. But that's why I say, veganism has nothing to do with health. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. However, that being said, I choose, and many others like Dr. Greger and many of you guys here too, choose to do it in a way that is that promotes healthy living and healthy aging, so that when you do end up being 56 years old like me, I'm doing pretty good. My doctors are always stoked when they go over my blood test. They go, "Wow, whatever you're doing, bro." They don't say it like that, They're not like TikTok influencers or anything, but you know what I'm saying? They're like, "Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's working for you." So I'm saying you don't have, and I'm when I play basketball, let's just say I'm never the last one picked. If we're picking teams, I'm never the last one picked. I don't want to pick that old 56-year-old guy. He sucks. He can't move, or he's so unathletic or anything like that. So I'm just saying, you can age in a good way for your mind and body. Well, thanks, Uncle. I intend to, because I, like you, I don't have kids, right? So I don't have anyone to take care of me as I get old and older. So I'm going to have to try my best. Angie and I are going to try our best to stay strong physically and mentally healthy. And, so we can take care of ourselves, and because we don't have people that were like, "Oh, for sure, this person's going to help us out," Yeah, Fritz, my goal, like yours, is to age as gracefully as I can. Yeah, Sarah, we're all doomed, maybe, to age and eventually die and stuff like that, but you don't have to let it rule you. You can be the boss of aging. A lot of people just go on the conveyor belt of aging. They think it's just a trip they're on. There's nothing they can do. It's all predetermined, blah, blah, blah. No, there's things you can do. Look at that billionaire guy that's eating a vegan diet and taking all these medicines and supplements and drugs and shit to try to reverse aging. So it just shows right there. We don't have to do something as extreme as that, but it just shows right there. If you do things, eat certain foods and exercise in certain ways, you can have a effect on how aging is affecting you. Joe, you're gonna be 55 tomorrow. Awesome. welcome to the mid-50s. And as I'm trying to show here, it doesn't have to be that bad. So all you guys who are millennials and younger watch, and just, look at me as an example. I'm not saying, hey, I'm the greatest looking 56-year-old or anything like that. I'm saying you can still age gracefully, be healthy and be physically active and athletic if you want, and it doesn't all have to mean, you're going to just get all overweight and just not be able to move around anymore. And I mean, that can happen. I'm just saying, there's certain things you can try to do to make aging work out as positive for you as you possibly can. Yeah, it doesn't suck to be mid-50s, Jill. You feel pretty good to be mid-50s? Yeah, that's how I feel too. I feel pretty darn good, If it wasn't for this damn foot sprain, I'd be fully active and doing all my basketball and everything, but I still need to lay off it for a little while. AJ says, you're the youngest 56-year-old I've ever seen, Ryan. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you so much, AJ. Let's see. Oh, how old is Vegan Zombie? So he turned 48 yesterday, and people were saying, you look so old. You look like you're 29 or 30 or something like that. I'm 49, Yeah, Sarah, and weight training is I think a combination of getting some kind of cardiovascular workouts and weight training, the combo of the two. And it's not just me. I've seen other like health researchers, not influencers, but researchers say the same thing, that whatever you're doing, even if you're an endurance athlete and you're just trying to train to run marathons or half marathons or 5Ks or whatever, doesn't hurt to include some resistance training in that as well. In fact, elite athletes in those sports, from what I understand, often include that. And the resistance training actually helps their endurance work too. It's kind of complicated how it works. I'm not sure if I fully understand it, but they are not mutually exclusive. Dawn, you're turning the new 35? What is the new 35? Is that 40 or 50? So delicious, heading towards 70 this year. Awesome. 13 years vegan. How do you think veganism has helped you in your 60s? Let us know, because that's some uncharted waters for me. I'd appreciate to hear your perspective on veganism in your 60s and how you think that has helped or not. I'm just kind of curious. Uncle, you got to get back on your recumbent bike again every day. Are you? I'm afraid. I told you in the past few live streams, ever since COVID, people driving way more crazy, and it's just not my opinion. Insurance rates are going up because they have said people are driving more crazy. Well, they didn't say it exactly like that. But that's pretty much what they said, though. The statistics reflect that. But do you feel safe riding your recumbent bike back out on the streets with all the crazy driving that's out there now? I'm going to sell my bike. I've just been too busy. I need to sell my road bike. I'm thinking I'll save it and take it with me wherever I go live next. But no, people probably drive crazy there too. Let's see. So Sarah's exercise routine: cardio 7 days a week and weight train 4 days a week. Yeah, I've been like way more relaxed lately since my foot sprain, and I'm just kind of lazy. I don't want to go out into the cold garage where all my resistance stuff is. I used to go there every day. I wasn't playing basketball. Now I'm out there maybe 3 days a week or something like that. So yeah, to the gym 1 day a week. I just go and shoot baskets, and another 3 days going out into the garage and doing some weight training. Oh, your bike is stationary. Okay, Uncle, good for you. I mean, yeah, unless you don't mind risking your life on the roads. And, a lot of people out there, you guys do that, and that's cool. It's just not for me anymore. I've seen so much crazy stuff the past couple years. Yeah, Giovanni, I agree. There's this one intersection near here where a car, it's like a roundabout in the middle of the intersection, and every month or so, a car, I don't see how you could be driving and not see this big roundabout, like blocking the intersection that forces you to slow down. A lot of people never see. They just hit it, they catch air, and they crash into cars on the other side and total them. I just saw another one, I think it was yesterday, and the last one I saw was like a month ago. It's like how do these people, like, what do their insurance companies say? I could see the person doing the claim at the office just getting it, like, it says here this guy just like hit a roundabout and caught air and crashed. Like, how do you reinsure someone that's just so plainly like not, has no business driving? If you hit a roundabout for no reason, you know, you don't belong driving. You don't belong being insured. That's my opinion. I mean, I could see how you're making a turn, you didn't see someone. Those common accidents, yeah, I get it. Those are common. But missing a roundabout, like, that's just no excuse. Jana, you're 53, pretty close to me, my age. But people keep mistaking you for being 20-something. Awesome. Good for you. Yeah, it happens to me sometimes at the gym, especially after I play someone basketball and I beat them. Then I ask them how old they think I am. They don't want to say 40 or 50. They'll feel horrible getting beaten by an old grandpa, you know. But they'll say like 25. Then I tell them, no, try 56, bro. Yeah, maybe it's texting. I think people are driving more drunk and even maybe more high now too. You know, I'm not against like marijuana or anything like that, but I think people are just driving in all these altered states of consciousness now, not fearing any law enforcement, and texting, distracted, and I think maybe COVID messed up a lot of people, either physically, their brain, or mentally, their minds, or both maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's more aggressive behavior out there than before. Just reckless, needlessly reckless, risky behavior. Nikki, you're 26 years old. Oh, that's Gen Z, right? That's not millennial anymore. Am I correct there, Nikki? I get told you look 19 because your skin is so clear. So people think you're basically like in high school or you're out of high school. Awesome. Oh no, that sucks, AJ. A car chase guy hit a biker today in LA. Wow. I'll probably see that on my feed. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm knows to show me high-speed chase stuff. So, wow, that sucks. So that sucks. People just minding their own business. People riding bikes, you know. They hit cars all the time. You know, it's a matter of time before they hit pedestrians and bikes on these chases. I'm sure it's happened. I just haven't seen one yet. Yeah, Sarah, hit the like button if you like puppies or kittens and stuff. Nikki, you are the Gen without a category. Millennial says Gen, it's different on each site. You look it up on Hey, Apano, you've heard that some Gen Z people look older than they are, though I think you might just have people looking older and younger just like any other generation. The cop stopped the chase, AJ, when the biker was hit. Yeah, too bad they didn't call the chase off before then. That's unfortunate. I see that often where they just back off. Someone's driving way too crazy and the police just back off. They let the helicopter follow them from up high, but they just back the cars off in hopes that the crazy driver will start driving a little more rationally. Doesn't always work though. Yeah, they need a love button too, Uncle, huh? The love button. I guess that's becoming a channel member, huh? Let's see. Big Dog Chili. Joe Rogan said vegans are bad. Yeah, he has said that kind of stuff, Big Dog Chili. What do you think? Do you agree with Joe Rogan or you disagree with Joe Rogan? If you agree with Joe, please share with us why you think Joe was right. What evidence is there to support the claim that vegans are bad? And bad what? Bad in what way? Like we're bad people, we're bad drivers, we're bad ass mother effers? Like what are we bad? What? We're bad guitarist, bad chess player, what? Bad what? So, you disagree with Joe? He just hates veganism, Big Dog Chili. He's had a thing against veganism. He's part of this whole culture of promoting toxic masculinity, and part of that is to make things that seem not masculine, make them seem really bad. You know, vegans are soy boys. It makes you more effeminate. It makes your testosterone go down. You have to eat meat to be a real man. You know, it's that kind of perception that promoters of toxic masculinity create. How often are there any vegan toxic masculine influencers out there? I don't think it's possible, right? I mean, maybe maybe there are, but they'd be in the far minority. Just because there might be one or two, perhaps, doesn't disprove my belief there. Anyway. Sarah, you hung out in graveyards in high school. I hung out in a few graveyards in my goth days. Did you do it in your goth days too? Yeah, Fritz, it's sad that masculinity can be attempted. They try to tie it into animal cruelty. How is that masculine? Here's my whole point about that, Fritz. It's bullying. How is it masculine to go, if you're a big, dude like me, 6'5", 200 pounds, to go bully some kid who's half my size? That's masculine. I'm gonna go rough him up. And no, that's not an even fight. If you're twice someone's size. And same with animals. They're defenseless animals. How is that a tough guy thing? A totally masculine thing to have a totally one-sided battle with an animal? I mean, they're defenseless. There's nothing toxic. I mean, it's fully toxic. There's nothing masculine about being a bully to a person or an animal. It just shows you're a wimp at heart. You're just trying to project onto a defenseless, weaker person or animal your strength and feel like you're superior just because of that. No, it's called being a wimpy bully. What's that, Uncle? Being masculine is fine. Yeah, totally fine. Nothing wrong with being masculine or dude, if that's what you are. Being toxic masculine is about being toxic. Exactly. Being toxic masculine is not about being masculine. It's about being toxic. Jar H guy, you believe it stems from that men were hunters in the civilization? You're talking in the past, right? We're not anymore. We're talking about men now and women, whatever you are. There's a small percentage of humans that get their food from hunting. We're talking about a fraction of a percent. They go to the store. They go to Arby's or McDonald's. There's nothing masculine about buying pre-made or packaged food that was raised in cruel and exploitative conditions. There's nothing. How does that make someone more manly? Anyone can go to the store and buy food that was created from animals, unfairly from animals' bodies who were exploited. There's nothing, yeah. And, so it's this weird thing. I want to do what my ancestors did. That argument, you hear that one. Well, I can't go vegan because of my ancestors. What? Are you living out in nature, isolated from humanity? You don't use iPhones because of your ancestors. You don't use computers because of your ancestors. You don't travel in cars. It's funny how they just pick and choose what things that their ancestors did, that they believe their ancestors did. They have no clue. They're not anthropologists, most of these people that make that argument. Oh, Bob, you're going to try to argue that Joe Rogan is non-toxic masculinity because he's a hunter. That's just one thing he does. That's pretty toxic right there. And Joe Rogan doesn't hunt for his food. Yeah, I'm sure he hunts for some of his food, but when he's living here in California, what do you think? He's walking around, where do he live at? In Calabasas or something like that? He's walking around the valley shooting nothing there, squirrels or something like that? No. Yeah, I'm sure he 1% of his annual feeding came from, or meat came from his rare hunting trips. He lives in Austin, Texas now. I don't think there's a bunch of hunting going on there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just because he hunts for some of his, that's just cruel, but that doesn't justify him just being a dick or something like that. Yeah, hunt for plants. And Jill raises the obvious point here. We have no idea what our real, actual ancestors actually did to survive, unless there was some documentation or some really amazing archaeology to uncover what was going on. Yeah, he's in Texas. I'm saying he's been hunting forever. I'm saying he wasn't always hunting. I'm saying it's to say he hunted for his own food. Yeah, a small portion of his food, but we're neglecting the other 98 or 99% of his food that came from traditional non-hunting methods. And he's toxically masculine because he's always knocking on veganism as being some lame, stupid thing. It's part of the whole broader plan, or broader meme, I guess, amongst toxic masculine influencers to degrade veganism as some kind of movement of the libs or the environmental wussies or the soy boys or something like that. Joe feeds or plays right into that playbook. Textbook. He's perfectly following that whole program. There's uncle, you don't have to kill to be a man. You don't have to eat the product of someone killing to be a man. There's no connection to that. But yeah, they try to make us say, look at me, I'm this big rough guy, I hunt, I kill these animals. Like, no, you could be a big rough guy like Nehemiah Delgado. I don't know if he's rough, but he's a big hulky dude, doesn't eat it. He's never ate an animal. He's born into a vegetarian family. He had some dairy when he was a really young person. So you don't have to have meat to be a big, badass, bulky dude. Sarah, that's funny. Your bestie is an example of a masculine man, and he's the furthest thing from toxic. Yeah, you can be a manly man and not be toxic, for sure. I have nothing against masculine, whatever. I mean, I think that's kind of where I play into some of those stereotypes, I guess. But I don't think there's anything toxic about my being a dude. Joe Rogan is a liberal. Oh, okay, great, awesome. Well, I'll leave it at that. I didn't make any claim about him. I was talking about him being a toxic masculine. Now we're poop flinging. Now we're talking about his political background, what it may be, or something like that. Whatevs, you know. Didn't you see him get fact corrected? Did you guys see that? It happened about a week or two ago. I could play the clip for us right now, but I won't give him the I guess it won't go to him. The money won't go to him because people have made all these copies of it. Where he was claiming how demented Joe Biden was because of certain thing he said in a press conference or something like that. It's going, man, that shouldn't happen. He should be out of office. He's too senile. If he said something that stupid, any other job, you would be instantly fired for being that mentally incompetent. And someone fact checked him, said no, actually it was Trump that said that. And then Joe Biden had to like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, something like that. So I don't know. You can make claims about his political belief system. I don't care, but I'm just saying, just to paint him as some classic liberal when he's obviously, trying to say, the liberal dude was all senile when it was fact checked to that. No, the conservative candidate said the actual thing that showed mental decline. But anyway, I don't care. That doesn't affect my voting anyway. But anyway, who cares what Joe is? I don't know what he is. I don't care. I'm not voting for Joe Rogan ever. Yeah, for a liberal, he has some odd things about him. Like he goes off about COVID conspiracy theories, border immigration stuff, and he doesn't seem to be a fan of trans. I haven't heard him say too much. Does he? Yeah, I do remember a clip now of a compilation of all the trans stuff he said. So yeah, really not the most classic liberal if you're trying to point him as one. But anyway, who cares? Enough about Joe Rogan. He's a fool. Yeah, Peter's saying Joe Rogan keeps saying the solution to animal farming is hunting. But he buys his food from McDonald's and supermarkets. Like I said, what percentage of Joe Rogan's meat comes from his own hunting? Really? Oh, yeah, Dr. Bear's not with us tonight, Sarah, huh? Yeah, I just noticed Dr. Bear and VLAM are not here with us tonight. I hope you guys are fine if you're watching after the fact. And yeah, your presences are missed here tonight. So yeah, let's not like argue if Joe Rogan is a good guy or a bad guy, is he liberal, conservative. I don't care. Just if you're a Joe Rogan fan, nothing I say is gonna change that, right? You know, a lot of people say I like Joe Rogan, but he's totally stupid about vegan. Okay, great. Just let's move on. Who cares about Joe Rogan? If you care about him, awesome. I really don't care about him unless he's saying something stupid about veganism. Uncle's here. Uncle's chilling. But yeah, let's move on from Joe. I'm not here to argue that you should give up your fondness of Joe Rogan if you're fond of Joe Rogan. If he does it for you, if he makes you feel good about things, cool, you know, whatevs. Yeah, Jenna, yeah, as re-asking the question to Big Dog Chili that I originally posed to him, I didn't see an answer. How does Joe Rogan think vegans are bad? In what way are we bad? Bad people? Bad what? You know, I want to know how he thinks that Joe Rogan thinks we're bad. Tim, am I still coming to Australia? I don't think I can afford to live there. So I'd probably come sometime and visit, but as far as like moving to Australia, it looks super, super expensive. And I think I found somewhere closer to home that might be better for me in my older age. I'm not talking like I'm like sometime in the next, within 10 years kind of thing. But I'd like to come. Still want to visit Australia for sure. Oh, not anytime soon, Nikki. No, I'm just making long-term plans. And the thing about long-term plans is you can start taking actions now, like getting your affairs in order. And I'm using that in a good way. I'm not dying or anything like that. You know, just getting things set up now so that when, say, X amount of years, 5 years or 10 years have gone by, you go, thank goodness I took care of that stuff 5, 10 years ago, whatever, because you'll be in a better position now. Peter, Hawaii's still on my list, but yeah, it's not on the top of my list anymore. In fact, Torrance, yeah, if we can move into your house, Uncle, I'll totally consider moving into Torrance. Yeah, that's a nice area out there. Great climate and, you know, cool part of town. But no, I'm thinking somewhere else. I'm going to keep it a little close to my heart right now. Keep it, you know, close to, what's that? I think I got it wrong, that idiom there. Close to my chest. You hold your cards close to you. I don't want to talk about it all too much. But yeah. Nikki, yeah, I went to Sedona once in the early or mid 90s or something like that, just to check it out. I had a good time. Okay, thanks for that about Alaska. No, Alaska is just way too freezing cold. No, I don't want to go anywhere where it's freezing cold and like darkness for a few months out of the year. No. So Alaska is not, no, I'd like to visit Alaska sometime, go in the summer, but no, I definitely don't want to live in Alaska. I mean, if you guys live in Alaska, kudos to you. I can't do that. I'm from California. I am not built for that kind of extreme environment. Okay, Bob, I told you, why are we still discussing what Joe Rogan did or said? We're over it. We're moving on. Don't care. We don't care about what Joe Rogan said. We already gave him enough airtime tonight. I wish he would give me just a fraction of the airtime I give him. We have moved on. Joe Rogan. No, I'm going to put him in my blocked words. No more Joe frickin' Rogan, okay? Please. Thank you. AJ, never been to Arizona. Yeah, it's a fascinating state as far as the geography goes. You know, it's more than just deserts. They have forests, they have the Grand Canyon, Sedona. They have rugged, beautiful terrain. Ooh, yeah, Mindo Coast. Yeah, I want to get closer to that direction, Sarah. I'm thinking more that way somehow. But we'll see. Yeah, not going to happen anytime soon. I'm getting things wherever I go. You know, wherever I end up in 5, 10 years or whatever it is. I still got to do the same kind of things now to get more situated to be able to actually pull that off. Yeah, Northern California is amazing. I know it's a I was loved when I've been in Northern California, even Central California for that. I'm just over Southern California, guys. You have no idea how just I'm born here, lived pretty much my whole life here. Pretty much, I've lived away a couple times, but I'm just seeing it all. It's all sprawling, urbanized, suburbanized development, very little nature left, too many people. We have like 30 million people in the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area. It's pretty much a nonstop, continuous stretch of development and civilization all the way from the San Diego, Mexico border through Los Angeles up to like, Santa Barbara, basically. It's just, there's just too many people, too much development. I want to try to get somewhere where I've always said, fewer people, more nature. A lot of places fit that goal. That's why I like Hawaii so much and still do. But there's other places I'm considering fewer people, more nature. I said, I'm just tired of going to the same places. If I want to go out and see some nature, there's only a few realistic places I can go to that don't involve like driving all day. I want to live somewhere where I have like, in any day I can go to like 50 places, 100 places all within an hour or two. I don't have that here. I have like 4 places maybe or something like that, so I kind of bored, just kind of like feel kind of a little dead inside of sorts. It's like I'm just kind of over being around here, just not to say it's horrible. I'm grateful I'm here, but I'm 56, kind of looking at the next half of my life or whatever. I don't do the math exactly. I don't know how long I'm gonna live, but the next half I want to try to go somewhere a little it's a smaller metropolitan area than the beast of Los Angeles. Yeah, I mean, I'm not to say it's desolate up there, but it's nothing like here. This is complete hell here. There's too many people here in the Southern California, LA metropolitan area. But yeah, I know I kind of like what you're talking about, Sarah. It's like, like the city, you got all the craziness of the city and East Bay if you want that, but you can live somewhere a little more secluded from that, but still have close proximity, 30s, 50 odd minutes from all that craziness if you want, but still live out where, where you're talking about there, Sarah. You can drive up all the way, to Mendo if you want, all the beaches on the way and mountains and stuff. Anyway, Costa Rica, I don't think I want to live in a foreign country unless the situation here gets really bad. I'm not going to mention any names or any political parties, so don't get triggered, anyone watching the live stream, particularly one particular person whose name I'm looking at right now. But, if any kind of like person assumes power in our country and fashions him or herself as some kind of dictator or authoritarian and tries to rule in that sort of non-democratic way, then I'll strongly consider looking at places like Costa Rica, assuming we're still able to leave or something like that. But assuming something like that doesn't happen, I'm planning to stay put here. What do you mean, Bob, that Southern California is like a hot tamale? What does that even mean? Anyone understand what that means? I'm trying to be imaginative here. What the hell is he saying? California is like a hot tamale. I love tamales, by the way. I just saw one of my favorite tamale makers send a text. He's gonna have tamale delivery tomorrow if we want. But what does that mean? Yeah, but Sarah, I want to be closer to that kind of stuff. NorCal, all that stuff, but still live near a city in case I need to like get a guitar repaired or a tube amp worked on or something like that. Not live totally out in the middle of nowhere. Have proximity to like major civilization, but not be in the middle of it. Yeah, the low cost of living, AJ, that was true like in the 90s and 2000s, but from what I'm seeing now, it's slowly catching up because more and more Westerners, for lack of a better term, non-Costa Rican natives are going there for the lower cost of living, which is making the cost of living there more and more expensive. So still, yeah, it is a bit less than here, but really not the bargain it was like when I knew people going there in the 90s and 2000s. Those days are gone. And pretty much everywhere, everywhere. Like I'll watch like a House Hunters in Chiang Mai or something like that. Everyone's it's so cheap to live there. Well, I see now they say the real estate market's hot. All the expats and digital nomads are moving here, driving the cost of rentals up. Let's see. For you, yeah, you're in Bend, Oregon. Sarah, you're saying it isn't the end for you. That's how I feel about where I'm at right now. But I'll be here as long as my parents are alive. That's how I feel too about right here. I'm gonna be here as long as my mom's alive, and the older she gets, I've been noticing the more and more help she needs from me and others. So I'm gonna be here to provide that. But yeah, I'll be here as long as as long as she's still here. Cape Canaveral? No, no chance of me going to Florida. No, I mean nothing against Florida, but no, I'm not. No, I'm not heading that way. Yeah, Peter, there are actual communities made up pretty much of American expats in Costa Rica. Did Bob ever answer how Southern California is a hot tamale? I didn't see the explanation for that, Bob. If you're trying to sneak away there, let me scroll back up. Um, I'm not seeing your answer. How Southern California in particular, is a hot tamale, Bob. So please, you have my attention here. Tell me what you meant by that. Okay, Tighe Philbin. You don't know what vegans believe about eating animals? Well, let's just show you right now. We're against animal cruelty and exploitation. So whether an animal exists because it's overpopulated in an area, still, you're causing cruelty to that animal by shooting it and ending its life. So no, why would we eat the flesh of a wild boar or wild coyote who was invasive and taken over an ecosystem? In fact, there are less lethal ways of decreasing overpopulated animal populations than shooting them or killing them. You can give them I'm not an expert in this, but there's ways to leave food or something for them so that they are not fertile. Yeah, that's cruel and stuff, but way less cruel than ending their lives. The real goal is to decrease their population size, and there's less lethal ways of achieving that goal other than shooting them and stuff. So anyway, no, just because an animal is overpopulated in an area, I don't see how that null and voids the cruelty. If you can explain to me, hey, there's too many humans in Los Angeles, and the only way to thin them out is to kill a few of them, kill 100,000 of them. Like, that's cruel. See what I'm saying? Just because there's too many humans or too many animals, we need to therefore kill them because that's the only way. No, you could have those humans go somewhere else. You could transport the animals, transport the humans somewhere else. I guess you can make the humans not breed or something, just like the animals. But the solution is never just kill them. Tig, I just answered your question rather than just jibber jabber about many of this crap. And I want to give you some critical piece of information here, Tighe Philbin. You are not the main character. There are dozens and dozens of other people in this live stream asking questions too. Why should I just stop conversing with other people and just only answer your question? If you're this is just the word to anyone watching this live stream. If I'm not answering your question, don't take it personally. Ask it again. I might not see your question. I might be engaged in a conversation or a thought process already. So don't get triggered. Don't attack me personally, because that's one way to get banned or not get your question answered. Why should I respond and be polite to someone who's insulting and being an a-hole? Are you like that, Tighe Philbin? When someone's being an asshole to you, do you all of a sudden bend to their will? Is that what you do? Is that your tactic in life? Be a jerk to someone and hope that's going to make them want to be cool to you? Because that shit doesn't work around here. I don't enable a-hole behavior. I don't enable bully behavior. Yeah, Sarah, I don't always see all the comments. I'm not omniscient. If you don't know what that word means, Philbin, Google it. Omniscient. I am not omniscient. Hey, Diana Bananas. Good evening to you. Sorry to hear that, Veggie Machine. You would think that when you're on a vegan channel, it's called Happy Healthy Vegan, all our content's vegan related, they wouldn't serve bacon ads. I apologize. Shows you how stupid these targeted ads are. They're not targeted, that's just stupid. Hey, Vegan Metalhead, you've been watching, commenting now. Well, thanks for joining us, even though you've been with us the whole time, it sounds like. A good point, Allie, about killing the overpopulated animal populations. There are too many humans for things to be sustainable, so we don't have a leg to stand on if some other species is doing what we're doing. Tige, you didn't answer my question. Why should I play along with you now? You already insulted me. You're already a rude person. Again, you're not the main character. I answered your question there. So if you're here to discuss like flaws in veganism, I call that debunking veganism. Let's look at rule number 3 here. When trying to debunk veganism, I will only discuss one of your claims at a time. So I answered your question. If you have another thing you want to nitpick about veganism, you can come back next week. And I do this respectfully for the rest of our vegan viewers, so they're not going to be bogged down and me spending in just an inappropriate, disproportionate amount of time answering questions from people trying to debunk veganism. So we get one question a week. So if you want to come back next week, Philbin, I should be here. The plan is, but I'm not 100% sure because of my wife's birthday that day. But anyway, come back next week and you can ask another question as long as you don't insult and don't act like an a-hole. Okay? Got that, hopefully. Okay, so I missed some stuff. Utah, again, way too cold. I know the cost of living is great, but I'm not looking at just cost of living. I'm looking at this quality of life overall. And yeah, snow, not for me. Okay, so Peter said he's timed out for 10 seconds each time. I'll increase the timeout time. All right, cool. Thank you, Peter. Thanks for keeping it under control. Hey, Johnny Bravo. How's it going? Good to see Johnny Bravo. Yeah, Fritz says, house rules. Play nice. That's all you got to do. And Muthulian too. At this point of time, I'm kind of with Muthulian. I don't want to make a statement that's going to trigger kind of precious political snowflake types like Bob. But yeah, right now in this time of extreme political divisiveness, I would prefer to remain in a blue state. No offense if anyone lives in a red state. I'm not trying to make that. Just me personally. I've grown up, lived in California my whole life. And I've just seen so much divisiveness and division. I'm being redundant with those two words right there. My point is, I just want to stay somewhere where, I feel somewhat comfortable in my beliefs. I'm not going to get attacked for my race. I'm not going to get attacked for my political beliefs. I'm not going to get attacked for being vegan. I feel a little bit more safer somewhere like here where tolerance is actually a good thing, as opposed to in some other places that's considered some woke sickness of the libs or something like that, whatevs. I'm going to stay somewhere where tolerance is actually something that makes a place like Southern California, one of the most racially diverse places on planet Earth, how it works. We're not all in chaos here. We know how to get along, and I appreciate that diversity. Yeah, and Sarah points out, I'm a homebody, not a nomad. I'm definitely not a digital nomad. I want to travel and live somewhere for a few months. I have a house here. Next place I live, I'm having another house. Again, not to offend anyone from a red state. I've lived here my whole life in a blue state. I've lived my whole life in blue states. I'm just going to stay here right now in this time of extreme divisiveness. I know what I have here. I know it's like, I'm staying with the devil. I know, I know the good and bad of here, and I'm cool. I can accept the bad because I understand how the good works for my benefit of not being able to, for not being targeted and attacked here for who I am. Well, Heidi, you're right. There's extremes on both sides. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, stuff like this. That's what scares me about some states where they want to ban completely harmless books. Like one wants to ban dictionaries due to unapproved words. I saw one book that got banned in Florida. I actually read it. It's called Larry the Farting Leprechaun. Look it up. I think I actually didn't read it. I saw it read on I forgot. I think it was a late night talk show or a YouTuber. Someone read, I think it was a YouTuber, read the entire book, Larry the Farting Leprechaun. There was nothing in there that was inappropriate. It was about a funny subject, a leprechaun who farts all the time, but there was nothing like immoral about it. There's nothing, there's nothing objectionable other than if you don't like farting leprechauns. I go, that's a book that got banned? Like, did it get reviewed? What was the argument for banning Larry the Farting Leprechaun? I mean, there is no ban. Yeah, look up banning books. Let's see if I can find banning Larry the Farting Leprechaun. You're denying, Bob. Are you saying I'm lying? Book ban, if I could spell correctly, book ban Larry Farting Leprechaun. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, it's Texas. Here it is. Let's put it up here. Texas bans books on farts and butts here. Here, Larry the Farting Leprechaun, right here. So that book was banned, Bob, in Texas. I got the state wrong, so sorry if any Floridians, I pinned it on your legislators or whatever. Larry, check it. You can probably find go to Google, YouTube and search for Larry the Farting Leprechaun. Let me do that for you, so you can see how not. Oops, what the hell? Okay. Ah, crap. I thought I undid this. Larry the Farting Leprechaun. Here it is. So you guys can go look for Larry the Farting Leprechaun and see how it's they don't say anything wrong. They don't talk about, like him doing a sexual act that's perverted. It's just farts. It's a leprechaun that farts, and that book got banned. So yeah, it's funny how we talk about freedoms, how we talk about how we fight to our death for freedoms, yet we're banning books in this country about farting leprechauns. Yeah, wait for the movie, Travis. It's a hilarious title. So yeah, look, yeah, someone reads it aloud. There's a book, there's channels that read children's books, I guess, for children to watch, children content. Check it out. Check out a Larry the Farting Leprechaun. If this is what our country's coming to, Joe Rogan's new home state, banning books about farting leprechauns. Oh, Sarah. Oh, wow, you've been a member for a year now, Sarah. Awesome. I remember, yeah, you were reluctant because you were holding out on having any kind of internet payment thing associated with you, which I think is totally awesome. So I'm honored that you broke that for us. So thanks, Sarah, for doing that and, exposing yourself to the internet finance system and stuff. Carl, I didn't say I wouldn't live there. I'm just saying I don't want to live in places that take an attitude towards books like Larry the Farting Leprechaun. I want to live somewhere where things aren't as so free and not free. I'm saying I truly believe in having freedom, and if they think that that's appropriate, taking the freedom away for people to read a book about a farting leprechaun, what other freedoms are they comfortable with us not be able to enjoy anymore? So yeah, I'm actually it seems like a little thing, but actually I think it's kind of a magnifying glass for what kind of activity might be happening there that I probably am not on board with. Yeah, Bob, I totally believe in freedom. I believe in the freedom of books about farting leprechauns to exist in libraries. Heidi, do our kids really need that book? I don't know if they need that. I mean, you could argue that about maybe like a majority of books in libraries. Like, do they really need X and Y book? If it's not one of the great literature books, I don't know. But there's nothing wrong with. I was laughing at Larry the Farting Leprechaun, and what's wrong with laughing? It was a funny book. Me as an adult, I thought it was funny, and I didn't see anything offensive about it. So, do they really need it? I mean, it's just a comedy book. I mean, it's like saying, do people really need comedy? Do people really need laughter? I would argue, Yes, right? I mean, we need to laugh. We need to smile instead of be pissed off and triggered all the time, right? Just saying. What about forced lockdowns, Bob? Well, I hate to break it, but your non progressive president had a lockdown on the United States. In fact, it was kind of a global thing. So please don't blame that on Joe Biden, who was not president at the time, or blame it on the libs, or anything like that. And what about vaccines? What about vaccines? How is that? How is that? How does that have anything to do with freedom? We have the freedom to go get a vaccine. I have not seen anyone like saying that you have to have a vaccine to go anywhere. There was a short period of time when that was happening in some places, but that's gone. We have we've had a Democratic president, what, like 2-3 years now, and I don't see any travel bans or anything like that. There's nothing like that going on, Bob. Yeah, your president's the one that locked down the United States, so please don't make this a owning the libs kind of thing, please. Yeah, right-wing vegan. I like what you're saying here. You're not afraid of any books. You personally don't see yourself buying books or reading books about farting leprechauns, but that's your personal preference, exactly. And that's what freedom is about, in my opinion, right-wing vegan. Having your preferences not be taken away from you, assuming those preferences aren't like, physically harming others. Like, say your preference is to murder people. Yeah, you shouldn't have that right, obviously, or anything like that. But in smoking weed, like, that's not harming anyway, especially if it's coming from non-cartel sources, like here in California, and legal dispensary sources. There's no victim. You should have these free. Like, who's being harmed in say in a case like that? No one's being harmed in a farting leprechaun book. But yeah, just because say you might not like weed or might not like farting leprechauns, doesn't mean they should be banned or something like that. Say, hey, I hate this kind of music, therefore it should be banned. It's not my thing, or something like that. Yeah, you should be able to do as you desire. If I want to dye all my hair purple and stripe, I could do that. It's a free thing. I can do what I want. I believe in to be able to do what you want as long as you're not harming people. Wow, I haven't, God, Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury, right? If I read that, it was a long time ago. Do I need to read that again, AJ? Let me know. Is it something very appropriate for right now? Hey, Dr. Bear, you've been gone, right? Not gone, but you've popped in finally. You're saying, I kind of understand why parents who object to certain books control their own kids. They don't have the right to prevent other people from reading books. Yeah, that's true. If you want to control your own personal offspring, totally cool. But don't tell me or my children, which I don't have, or my nephews, that they can't read Larry the Farting Leprechaun because you perceive it to be inappropriate. Like, we need to have a discussion about Larry the Farting Leprechaun. Like, tell me what's wrong with it. Why can't children read a book about a farting leprechaun? Yeah. Right-wing vegan, yeah. School districts, yeah, should decide what they want to buy or don't buy. That's how it works. They don't have infinite budgets for libraries. Travis, you've read a few Henry Miller books that could have been banned. Yeah, I'm sure those are getting banned, right? Yeah, please reread Fahrenheit 451. Bradbury was prescient. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, a lot of these books are more appropriate, are more relevant now than ever before. Like, say, 1984, stuff like that. What's that about Piers Morgan, Peter? Piers Morgan thinks vegans are taking away his freedom to eat dead animals. No. Where in vegan activism does it say that Piers Morgan is not free to eat? We would prefer him to have compassion for animals and not force animals to be killed for him every day, but there's no mandate. We're doing it because I'm vegan, because of things I see in the world and I know they're wrong. That's why I'm vegan. I can't control Piers Morgan, but he wants to take away their freedom to use word. Oh, he wants to not allow people to do words like fake meat or sausage and stuff like that. Yeah, he's the one that's actually trying to ban people from using language as how it's been. Okay, the ban was for purchase from the library, but why? Why right-wing vegan? Why should Larry the Farting Leprechaun be banned for purchase? It's the same thing. If you ban a book, it's banned. Yeah, it can't be purchased, or if it already was purchased, must be removed. Same thing. Why ban that book for? They could say something, right-wing vegan, I agree. It's like, hey, we have a certain amount of budget dollars allocated for book purchasing for our school libraries, and we're going to prioritize certain books and have other books on a lower priority level. I could see if they put Larry the Farting Leprechaun on a low priority book purchase list. Totally fine with that. I understand. We have to make decisions based upon our budgets. We all have to. Schools, people, countries, companies, everything. But to ban it, that's a whole nother matter. I mean, it cannot even be considered. Larry the Farting Leprechaun is so horribly offensive and degrading and all this stuff. We cannot even put it on the low priority purchase list. That's what I have a problem with. Uncle, is Larry only for adults? I guess if you're in this article I was showing about Texas, about Larry the Farting Leprechaun being banned from their school libraries, maybe so. I'm not sure how it works out. I guess if you're a kid, you can buy it, but you're not going to obtain it through your library. Yeah, right, vegan. Yeah, it's apparent you may not want to normalize farting, but is that a reason to have the book banned? You know, there's a lot of things you might not want to normalize, but a book about a farting leprechaun, again, you know, just because you read a book about farting doesn't mean you're going to instantly start farting. It's like saying I read a book about Andre Agassi playing tennis. I'm all of a sudden going to start playing tennis. You know what I'm saying? Just because you read something doesn't mean you're going to change your life and adopt or adapt that thing that the book's about into your personal life. That's a huge leap. So anyway, yeah, we've gotten a very political tonight, but yeah, check out Larry the Farting Leprechaun, guys. I think we need to move on from that. But yeah, I guess we got it. I said I just don't want to live somewhere where they're like banning books like Larry the Farting Leprechaun, where there's nothing ban worthy of it. Should it be a high priority library purchase? That's the debate there, but banned, that's where I have problems with freedom there. Like, why are we banning books that are not morally like corrupt? You know, there's nothing in there that's banned where there's no, like, he's not like having sex with other leprechauns or something like that. And even that itself isn't necessarily grounds for banning, but there's nothing like that. He just farts. But Bob, who are you to determine that book shouldn't be in the library? That's what I'm saying. How come you're so cool? You're talking about freedom, but you're totally not cool with the book being in the library. Again, there's nothing wrong with the book. Let's play some of it. Let's play some of Larry the Farting Leprechaun and see this horrible monstrosity of a book here. Let's see. Hopefully, I won't get in too much trouble here. Let's see. Let's pick which one has the most views. I'll read this one here. We'll play this one.
Welcome to Royal Storytime Theater with Princess T.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to Royal Storytime Theater with
He loves playing silly tricks and making funny messes in classrooms and houses. Leprechauns need to be sneaky, fast, and quiet to get away without getting caught. Larry is very sneaky and very fast. But being quiet is a big problem. Larry has a lot of gas and noisy toots. Usually, Larry thinks toots are pretty funny, but they are definitely not funny when he needs to be quiet. His noisy bum has gotten him into some sticky, and stinky situations.
Okay, and it continues and it shows some of these situations that Larry gets himself into. But I mean, you see, there's nothing, it's not like pornography. It's not like, it might be a subject that you might not like, but why should that be a legitimate grounds to ban a book? Just because, like, say, there might be subjects I don't like, and why should I have any right to request that the school bans books? Say I have a problem with pickleball, you know, that new sport that everyone's liking. I hate pickleball and I hate pickleball players. I really don't, but just say I do. And they make a children's book about pickleball. That should be banned. I don't like pickleball. So I'm saying there's nothing wrong. There's nothing like. You know what I'm saying? It just reflects kid humor, as Fritz says. Why is this book banned? There's nothing pornographic. There's nothing, you know, bannable. Just that some people might not like it, but that's not what freedom's about. Just because some people might not like it, even though it's not like doing any harm or anything, it's not like, you know, harming people. It's nothing pornographic or whatever. Just, I'm saying, just because you might not like it, there's a lot of things I don't like in this world. Yet I'm not one here to like shout out, hey, that thing I dislike needs to be banned. It needs to be removed because I'm not into it. That's all I'm talking about here. Just because you disagree with something, you know, you hate say there's a band you hate. Say I hate the White Stripes, Jack White and the White Stripes. I think he's a horrible musician. I think his music should be banned. He just shouts and it's noise. It has no virtues, no redeemable qualities whatsoever. It's just a bunch of garbage. Let's say I believe that, you know. How would I go from there? Like, his music should be removed from the library because I saw his CD there. The White Stripe CD was there. It needs to be gone. See what I'm saying? Just because you don't like something and you think it actually has no redeemable qualities, that's not sufficient to make it be gone. You know what I'm saying? That's not what freedom's about. Just because you are triggered by something, that's not sufficient reason for something to not be available in a public library. Fritz, I agree with you 100%, Fritz. Librarians are knowledgeable typically regarding what books to carry for other communities. It's not up to politicians to regulate reading matter. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let the librarians figure it out. If they don't like Larry the farting leprechaun at the library, it's gone. Okay, cool. But why should a politician say Larry the farting leprechaun is not appropriate? I'd rather have the librarians make the judgment call. Sarah, if you joined the Happy Fam right now, it sounds like, thank you and welcome. I'm glad our discussion of Larry the farting leprechaun is not shying away from you. Bob Hill, is there any content that should be kept away from little kids? Hey, that's not my field of expertise. I don't know, exactly where the line is drawn, but yeah, like pornography, obviously, stuff like that. Yeah, but a farting leprechaun, no. Just because you might not like a farting leprechaun, there's nothing wrong with a farting leprechaun. Just like if I hate pickleball or the White Stripes, as much as I might dislike those things, that's not reason enough for them to not be in the library. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like White Stripes or pickleball. You don't like farting leprechauns for whatever reasons. Maybe you had a bad experience with a farting leprechaun when you're young and you're holding that grudge into the present. I'm not sure. Well, does that what the article said? Did it say the parents didn't like it, Bob? Let's take a look. Is that reason enough? Let's see what it says here. It's mad because I have ad block on. Okay, Bob, so you're saying if parents don't like a book about a farting leprechaun, even though there's nothing, say the parents don't like the White Stripes or pickleball, what do you think about that, Bob? Let's say the parents hate Larry the farting leprechaun and they also dislike pickleball and the White Stripes. Is that reason enough to ban the White Stripes CD from the library? Is that enough to ban books about pickleball from the library? And is that reason enough to ban Larry the farting leprechaun from the library? And Angie tells the truth there. We are at a music festival. The White Stripes are on, and I walked as far as away to the opposite side of the field to eat some food or chill out and just kind of relax and get away from Jack White. But did I ever argue he shouldn't be able to perform on that stage? Did I ever argue that he should be banned from high school and middle school music libraries because I detest his music and I think it has no redeeming qualities? I don't like the rock. I don't like any Jack White projects, Sarah. I'm sorry. In fact, we drove past them one night. They were playing at the Greek Theater, and I think we went up to the observatory. This is in Los Angeles, and we heard this crazy shouting, "Want a Coca-Cola? Got a Coca-Cola!" They go, "What the F is that crap?" And we looked up, they're like, "Oh, it was Jack White and the Raconteurs." We just heard some guy shouting about a freaking Coca-Cola. I thought it was crazy. But anyway, but I would never argue. I've heard a little bit about Dead Weather. I don't remember too much about their sound. But my point is, no matter how horrible I think his voice and his songwriting and his guitar playing is, I don't think he should be banned from the school library. And same thing with Larry the Farting Leprechaun. As much as you might not like books about farting leprechauns, and I don't know why you would dislike that, but I'll acknowledge you might have a thing about farting leprechauns. Why should it be blocked? Oh, Bob, you're changing the subject now. We're talking about what should be in a library. Vegan restaurants are not libraries. So I'm saying you have no answer for me. You're saying something. If something you don't like or parents don't like, it should be banned. So what if all the parents hate a certain band that the kids are into? That CD should be removed from the library too, even though there's nothing offensive on it. It's not like explicit lyrics like Straight Outta Compton or something like that, which I like. I like Dr. Dre. I think he's a genius. But anyway, this is the point. Is just because you dislike something doesn't mean it needs to be removed. I'm sorry about this, sir. Your bestie loves Jack White is not pleased hearing this. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad person or anything. I personally just don't like his music, and I have every right to not like his music. It's a free country, right? That's what I'm saying. I can't like every artist. I can't like every musician. Certain ones resonate with me, like say Cocteau Twins, but Jack White, to me, I just hear blah, that's what I hear, blah, just a bunch of nonsense like that. But if your bestie loves it, and I know a lot of other people respect him, his artistry, good for them. Honestly, I have no problems with people liking Jack White. That's the difference between me and Bob. Just because I might dislike something doesn't mean I want it removed. It should be banned or something like that. I respect people's freedom. I truly believe in freedom. Jack White's music, as offensive it is to me, it's not offensive morally or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing, why it should be removed other than, there's nothing. So the only thing is, the difference is I honor people's individuality to make decisions as far as what they like and to listen to it. And my dislike has no impact on their ability to listen to music they like or whatever, books they like about farting leprechauns. I can bash Counting Crows or Dave Matthews. Okay, I could have picked them too. You're absolutely right, Sarah. But I don't know why Jack White came to my mind right now. You think parents should decide what content their kids are exposed to? Well, let's say parents all of a sudden, for some reason, heard something about Jack White being a Satanist, and they demanded that Jack White's music get removed from their Texas library. So you're saying because of that parental request about Jack White being a Satanist, they should remove his music. So you're saying, so therefore parents should decide that the White Stripes music should be removed from the school library. You agree with that, Bob? You think that's totally cool. If parents decide Jack White and the White Stripes don't belong in the school library because of whatever reason, it should be banned. That's what you're saying? Let me hear this. No, Bob, you're changing the language, remove versus banned. Let's look at the language of the article here. It says banned. Yeah, they want to ban books on farts. Let me see if we can find another article here. The book ban fight is intensifying in Llano, Texas. So Bob wants to call banning removed. So you're just playing word games here, Bob. No, we're not banning things. We're removing things. No, it's a ban. It's the same thing. Why is it being removed? Because it's been banned. I want me to check out a comment there, AJ. Let me see if I can find it. Guy says you were vegan. Wait, Guy Hevida says, hey bro, you might remember me. Sort of.
For the tip.
I came in and trolled you a week ago. Happy to see you're now vegan. Well, wow, please explain that change there. What happened? Did I say something or do something to you, Guy? Let us know. Right-wing vegan. I'm not saying parents shouldn't have any voice in what the library has or doesn't have, but do the parents have a right to demand, like the white stripes being removed from the library if they don't like it? Just tell me yes or no on that one. I want to know, because I want to know what you guys in your mind work. How do you consider this process works? Like if parents get together and agree that, yeah, the white stripes, they're satanic. We don't want our kids listening to the devil. Or Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin's known for being the satanic band with all the backmasking. Should Led Zeppelin and the White Stripes be removed from the school library, music library, because of the perception by the parents that the band is satanic? Let me know. Just curious. Guys, so you decided to become vegan. How did that work out? Please share with us. We're anti-democracy? No, I think you're anti-democracy because you want to take freedom away. You want to take away the works of art because of a group coming together saying, yeah, even though there's nothing like illegal here, they're not doing pornography or a bunch of swear words, but we want to get rid of it because we think they're Satanists. I just want to know, is that what you're thinking? Yeah, I agree on right-wing vegan. The parents have the right to express their desires. They have, yeah, I agree with you 100% there. I'm saying in a free country, we all have the right to participate in democracy. We can vote our leaders in. We could talk to our leaders who represent us. Totally cool. But just because a group comes together and has say a majority consensus that Led Zeppelin and the White Stripes are satanic, should that be the ban? Should those artists be banned because of that? You guys are answering my question. Tell me yes or no. Is that scenario I'm putting forth with you totally cool? Yes or no? Just tell me. Hey, Vian Mormon, farting leprechaun's banned, but Mein Kampf is not. Good point there, huh? Muthu Lion, Zeppelin is cool. Van Halen is the one you didn't like. So Van Halen, in your opinion, should be banned from the school library too, right? Oh, Peter, thanks for your super chat tip there. I saw it and I was so engaged in what I was saying, I forgot to come back. Peter said, Ryan, do you think it's okay for you to protest outside of the horse carriages in Victoria to try to get them banned because they're exploiting horses? Yeah, totally. 100%. Totally. Go for it. Please do it. Fritz raises a good point. Just because you have one set of parents that don't want to see Larry the Farting Leprechaun in the library or White Stripes or Led Zeppelin doesn't mean other parents who have no problem with Larry the Farting Leprechaun or the White Stripes or Led Zeppelin. Why should their children be penalized and not be able to access those works of art because of another group of parents? That's what I'm saying. You got to remember, these works in themselves are inherently not bad. There's not pornography, there's not a bunch of swear words, stuff like that, or whatever the thing is that we should get something banned. So I'm still waiting for you guys to know. So you think, isn't that by definition democracy? But then what about the parents who are okay, right-wing vegan and Bob? What do you think? So you're saying if parents want to get together and ban the White Stripes and Led Zeppelin from being freely available, even though there's nothing offensive about them other than you might not like them, that's totally cool. See, that's where we have a disagreement on what freedom is. I don't see why those works of art should be removed. There's nothing remove worthy of them other than a group of people got together and said, we don't want to see them, even though there's nothing about it. See, you're removing works of art because of an opinion of people. And again, I don't understand why that needs to happen. Why would these artists' works need to be removed? There's nothing wrong with Led Zeppelin or White Stripes as far as them being okay for children to be exposed to. So again, this is where we disagree on freedom. I believe in a free country, we shouldn't be removing perfectly fine works of art from being accessible to the public school system just because some parents don't like them. What about the freedom of my children to access those works? I wouldn't be in the mob saying, get rid of the White Stripes and Led Zeppelin and Larry the Friday Leprechaun. I wouldn't be in that group. How about my rights? How come my freedoms and my children's freedoms are being taken away? So that's it. We have different views of what freedom means. Yeah, Dr. Bear. Yeah, parents should control what their own children read. They should. Parents shouldn't expect the school or social media or media companies to control or filter. No, it's the parents' job to take action and control what their own children are exposed to, not to stop my family from being exposed to works of art that I think they should be or could be exposed to and have no problems with. Peter says, what if you're like an ultra polite person and anybody farting offends you? Great, but should books about farting be removed? See what I'm saying? I get triggered by weird things. Actually, pickleball kind of triggers me. Should pickleball books be removed? See what I'm saying? Just because something might offend you or trigger you, that's not grounds to have that taken away from the rest of the world or the rest of the people. Right wing, no one's requiring the purchase of every work. I'm just saying, you're kind of making a straw man, a scenario that I'm never advocating for. I'm just saying, this is given what's already in a library, and if somehow parents come together and say, hey, we don't want to see these works of art like Led Zeppelin, White Stripes, and Larry the Friday Leprechaun because we don't want our kids to be exposed to them, even though there's really nothing wrong with them, there's nothing pornographic or whatever. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference we have here. I'm not saying that the libraries have a mandate. They must purchase every work of art known in the world. They can't do that. It's just fiscally and physically impossible. The space and the money to do that. I know you're making a scenario that I'm not even advocating for here. Bob, that's the difference though. If a book gets dropped in a library because they decide not to carry it, that's one thing. But if the book is dropped because of a politician's opinion, that's a whole nother matter. That's what I'm saying. That's where we disagree. Just because a politician doesn't like a book doesn't mean that it should be gone. If so, I'm going to run for politics. And I'm going to ban all Led Zeppelin, all White Stripes, and all pickleball. I won't ban Led Zeppelin because I actually like Led Zeppelin. So I'll leave them because it doesn't offend me, but the White Stripes offends me, so I'm going to ban them. I'm not going to do that. I'm saying that's the sort of logic behind what you guys are advocating for. So I'm opposing a restriction that parents can't decide. No, parents can voice their opinions. Again, we live in a free country. I agree. People should have the right to express their opinions. That, White Stripes is satanic. I don't want my kid to see that. And you can go tell the librarian that. But that should not be sufficient ground in and of itself to have the CD or work of art removed. Just because a parent expresses an opinion doesn't mean that the opinion needs to be acted upon. And there needs to be a process, but just because they express an opinion, that in and of itself is not reason. If so, I'm going to go to my library and complain about a bunch of crap and see if I can get it removed. So anyway, let's just end it here. We're not going to change your opinions. You guys don't believe in freedom in the way that I believe in freedom. That's fine. This is why I don't want to live in a state where if this is the normal way of thinking. If you guys think if a sufficient number of adults gets together and complains to a school about White Stripes or Led Zeppelin, do you think that's a reason to get it removed? I don't want to be in that community. I'm just saying that. That's how we got on this conversation. You guys have proved my point. If you think that is totally cool, I personally don't think that is totally cool, and I don't want to be somewhere where that sort of value system is acceptable. I like my freedom. I like to be able to do as I want, as long as I'm not harming people, and not have it be subject to being banned. If I want to write a book about a farting leprechaun, and I should be able to do that and not have it be subject to banning because some parents aren't into that. So anyway, let's move on. Well, okay, I'll answer your last question there, right-wing vegan. And when legislators, school boards choose to act upon those opinions, hey, that's a matter for the school board to entertain. I'm cool with that, right-wing vegan. If the school board, whoever decides, okay, enough parents have complained about this book in Texas, if that's where you live and you don't want to see Larry the Farting Leprechaun and you're afraid of Jack White being a Satanist and you really want his CDs removed from the library, if that's what they do, that's what they do. Okay, I can live with that. But I don't think that shit would fly here. So that's why I'm going to stay here in my state, okay? But if that happens in your state, you're cool with that, totally cool. You know, I agree. You guys all have a right to express what things trigger you. But that in and of itself is not the reason why something should be banned. And a politician's opinion is not reason why something should be banned. So that's what happened. But again, okay, cool. But more reason, Bob. The more reason why I don't want to live in Texas. If Larry the Farting Leprechaun is banned because of parents being triggered by it, I don't want to live somewhere where people are so easily triggered. Let's do a little bit more of Larry the Farting Leprechaun and see how this banned work of art, how horrible it is. There's a fart. This is not in the book. There's no sounds in the book. That was the YouTuber creating the fart, so don't be triggered.
Thunderbuns.
A round of thunderbuns is the worst when Larry is trying to hide. This is when two bombs explode with the thunderous boom. Cracking loud farts is not a good way to be sneaky or stay hidden.
Remember, the fart's not in the book.
Mom?
Well, it's not that I like fart books. I just don't see why this should be banned. I could see if he was doing some crazy deviant sexual stuff, maybe then, but he's just a leprechaun who farts. So I personally would like to live in a country where books about farting leprechauns are not considered ban-worthy. That's just me. If you don't agree with that, if you think a country where farting leprechauns should be banned, you have a different idea of what freedom means compared to mine. And I'm not here to push my idea of freedom on you, but I'd rather live in a country where freedom entails that farting leprechauns don't get banned. That's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. All right, let's move on. No more Bob, no more right-wing vegan. We're moving on from farting leprechauns and the like. It's not the best content. Who are you to judge if that's the best content? See what I'm saying, Bob? I don't care what you think if it's the best content for kids. I don't think it's bad content for kids. You do. Who wins? Why should Bob's opinion be the one that's enacted upon and banned? See what I'm saying? You don't believe it's we're done. We're done. You feel more entitled than I am. I don't feel I'm so entitled that just because I have an opinion about something, it needs to be enacted upon. I don't believe I have that entitlement. I don't believe I have that authority, and I wouldn't want that because I'm not into being authoritarian. But anyway, let's move on. Oh, Peter, yeah, it's not working right, Peter, but we're moving on. Thank you, Peter. Do I think the book How Defensive Chinese Stereotypical Characters would be grounds for banning, or is that just their freedom? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Peter. I don't know, is that a book? I've not read that before. So anyway, yeah, Dr. Bear, I'm glad let's just end on this. I'm glad Dr. Bear and Right-Wing Vegan, we can all agree on this, right? Dr. Bear says, you, Right-Wing Vegan, have every right to read your children Aesop's fables. I agree. Totally agree with that. 100%. I agree you can. That sounds great. Yes, we both give you the thumbs up. And we can read our children what we want. Agree. Exactly. Nothing has to be banned. Okay? Anyway, yeah, Jana, some older classics like Larry the Farting Leprechaun. No. Yeah, maybe the super chat bill isn't working. Let me do a little test here. Let me see if it's working. Tell me if you hear this. Let me try this.
Thanks for the tip.
This is a test donation for $61.
Thanks for the tip.
Are you guys hearing that?
This is a test donation
I'm not
for
sure if that's coming
$1.
through. Let me check something here. Let's see. Did you guys hear that stuff? You heard it? Okay, let me do it one more time. Let me look at...
Thanks for the tip.
This is a test donation for...
Thanks for the tip.
This is a test donation for $67.
Okay, you guys are hearing that? Okay. I'm not sure what's up, guys. Okay, I changed it from a bell to this is a tip. Have you been hearing that before my test? Were you hearing this is a tip like earlier in this live stream? Because that's what's supposed to be happening. I thought, the bell was this kind of generic. It was the default sound that all people use. I wanted to have something more custom. I thought the thanks for the tip would be more friendly. You did hear that earlier tonight. You've been hearing it. Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me know, because it's something I just enabled in the software. I think on the last live stream, or maybe the one before that. I started it in this year, 2024. Okay, awesome. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, what another interesting stream we had today, huh? You never know what's going to happen on one of these live streams, but at least you get to know where I stand on things if you care, and my belief, what I value. Uncle, yeah, here, I don't want to. I'm just going to read Uncle's question here. We are not to answer that. You hear that, Bob and everyone else? We're not to answer Uncle's question. I'm just going to read it aloud, and we can all ponder this. Yeah, what if someone, like a group of parents or whatever, decided that any books that talked about evolution should be banned because it had a view different than their own personal religious view? Okay, there's an open question. We are not going to answer that. Just want to let that marinate in your head. You may even already have an answer, but I don't want to hear it, and please don't share it. But I want to read Uncle's question, because that's what it really comes down to. Things like that, if you're going to ban Led Zeppelin, if you're going to ban a farting leprechaun because you find it offensive, what else are we going to not allow children to be exposed to? Stuff that, again, is not inherently offensive or, not pornographic or whatever things are grounds for banning. Anyway, so anyway. Hey Sarah, thanks for being with us, Sarah. Thanks. I'll let Angie know that you sent her wait, did you? Yeah, you sent her a super chat tip at the beginning of the live stream, Sarah. So thanks so much. And tell your bestie that I really don't hate Jack White or anything like that. I'm not a fan of his music, but I don't think he's a bad person or anything like that. But maybe we'll talk more about my Jack White thing in the future. But I think I said enough about Jack White. But it's really, it's not like, I hate him or anything like that. Yeah, Carl, don't get offended, Dr. Bear there. She didn't call you a liar. She was just going, wow, that's a wild tale. I sound like Bob now. No, we're not banning, we're just removing. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. Ryan wants to talk about other things now. I think we spent enough time today talking about farting leprechauns. I'm gonna go one more time here with Larry.
Why is the milk green?
Laughing gas.
Laughing gas is another one of Larry's biggest problems. Sometimes when Larry plays a funny trick, he laughs so hard that he farts. The roar of his laugh and fart combined is loud enough to give away his hiding spot.
Okay, so anyway, enough of Larry the Farted Leprechaun there. Just wanted to see this horribly offensive book here. Anyway, Yeah, that's what I think too, Bob, about White Stripes CDs. Why are our libraries buying CDs from Jack White and the White Stripes music for? Imagine that. That's what we're teaching people about drinking a Coca-Cola and thinking about your doorbell and stuff like that, you know? You know, anyway. New sound effect for the stream, Larry's farts. Well, I could try to sample his farts and use his instead of, let's see this one again here.
I'm going to leave your words on this board for all my classes to...
I could try to sample Larry's fart, huh? I'll think about that, AJ. That's a decent idea. I need a new fart sound, and why not take Larry the Farting Leprechaun, the banned Larry, the controversial Larry's farts from the Farting Leprechaun story. They probably just got a stock sound. Like I said, the YouTuber added those sounds. Those farts obviously are not in the book. Good night, Carl. Wow, I didn't think I would ever show you guys Larry the Farting Leprechaun, you know, but I did. And I suggest you guys can all watch it and listen to it yourselves. It's a short book. I think the video, how long is it? It's let's see. It's 8 minutes, and like the first 30 to 60 seconds is the YouTuber giving an introduction. So it's a really short story, you know, it's not a big deal. Don't sample Larry's farts, Uncle. That sounds gross. Oh, Bob's triggered now. Fart, California thing, shaking my head. What? So what is this? How is farting a California thing? What the hell? What kind of attack is that? Yeah, I'll have Angie make us a Larry the Farting Leprechaun shirt for us. I'll probably get in trouble, though. It's probably intellectual property of the author and book company, so we don't want to do that. But we'll see if there's a t-shirt we can all get. So, Bob, what was your personal attack there about farting in California? Please explain that one. Yeah, move the line. Really, I would imagine maybe red states fart more because there's fewer vegans statistically, maybe. Yeah, and Jana, they aren't teaching the fart book. They don't have a class where the teacher says, all right, guys, we're going to be learning about Larry the Farting Leprechaun. There'll be a quiz. This will be on your final exam. It's just a book at a school library. Just like the White Stripes. They don't teach the White Stripes or Led Zeppelin in class. It's just something you can access at the school library. And kids can read it if they want to. And if they don't like farting leprechauns, they don't have to. So, Bob, are you going to tell me, I guess, are you thinking now why you said California fart shaking your head? Are you trying to attack where I live? Fritz, is that amazing? How just imagine a final test on Larry the Farting Leprechaun, because hey, that's what they're teaching, right? They're teaching Larry the Farting Leprechaun. It's just a fantasy how something goes from being an option that one can select at a library if they desire to something that is taught like to everyone. Okay. Well, what was this California thing? You've said this thing before, Bob. You gave that argument earlier. So why'd you say like fart, California, shaking your head? Like, please, what did that mean? You gave that argument several times. Please tell me what you meant by the fart, California, shaking your head. Yeah, he's missing the point again as usual. Yeah, basically Bob's argument, yeah, a bunch of parents got together and wanted to remove a book about evolution. Totally cool, as long as like a majority were into removing it. A bunch of parents wanted to get together and remove Led Zeppelin and White Stripes because of Satanism. Totally cool, as long as the majority were into it, you know, something like that. But we understand that's your position, Bob. So anyway, what was the fart, shaking my head, California? Yeah, he's dissing California again, Dr. Bear. And he won't tell us what he meant. You know, he's just going back to his old argument. What's that, Uncle? You brought in an Iron Butterfly album to share on Music Day at one of your classes in high school? Huh? What was that like? Yeah, Peter, exactly. Yeah, the farting leprechaun. The farting leprechaun is funny, but I mean, it's not offensive. Running the thing, it's just kind of lame and unfunny. Yeah, exactly. It's not like a high work of art. It'll never be confused with, like, say, Shakespeare or something like that. But yeah, it's just something that the library had. It seems to be a California thing to defend bizarre things. What do you mean a bizarre thing? I'm just saying why. No, I'm not. I'm just saying here. It didn't seem like something worthy of being banned. It wasn't pornographic. It just had a sense of humor that you might not like. But there's types of music that I don't like say the White Stripes. I wouldn't think that would be sufficient grounds to remove it because it's something I dislike or disagree with. That's the point that you seem to be missing, Bob. So that's not a California thing. I just don't think I'm so entitled. I'm such an important person that if something doesn't ring well with me, I'm going to lash out and I'll get all Karen'd out on the world and try to get things removed because I don't like it. I'm so important. I'm the main character. That's what I'm talking about, Bob. I believe in everyone just being chill. We need to get along. Just because I might disagree with something or dislike something doesn't mean that I have any entitlement to get it removed from wherever it's at. That's it. So limited space in the library. Hey, let's get rid of Led Zeppelin and White Stripes. We're going in circles, Bob. I'm putting you in timeout, bro. You're driving me nuts, Bob. So you keep going. You just keep changing. You just keep changing the argument. I told you the fundamental thing I disagree with is not limited library space. I understand these limitations, these restrictions. What we disagree on is that you are so entitled, Bob, that if something you find disagreeable, you feel so entitled that you're so important, you're such the main character that you should have it removed because you don't like it. I don't think that's right. I don't think just because I dislike something, that means it should be removed. That's where we disagree. All right, so we're moving on. I just put Bob in timeout because I don't like having to explain myself time and time again. Hey, thank you, Nothingness, for the cult tax contribution tonight. Yeah, sorry to make this all political, but it sometimes gets that way. And it's not even political. It's just a different attitude or a belief about what freedom really means. I believe we should all be free to pursue our desires as long as they don't violate the rights of others. I dislike White Stripes, but I don't believe it should be banned. It's not, listen to it is not gonna kill you or something like that. Yeah, Peter, that's a whole nother topic there. Books that were written particularly in the past, before cultural awareness sensitivity issues were even part of the public dialogue. It's like people didn't realize often that they were portraying people of color and Chinese people in a negative and offensive way. It was just kind of normal back then. I'm not trying to sanitize it or justify it. Just people had no idea. And us now looking at these works of art are seeing it in a more horrified kind of way. But that's a whole nother question there. Yeah, that's not what we were talking about tonight. But yeah, good question. Yeah, this stream holds the record for the longest political talk, and I apologize. I'm sorry if I bored you guys on it, but I really I guess you guys are seeing a little bit more of what my values are. I really believe in freedom. I really truly believe in that we should be free to do what we want as long as we're not harming others, and violating the rights of others. I don't think Larry the Farting Leprechaun or the White Stripes or Led Zeppelin is harming anyone. My listening to Led Zeppelin or reading Larry the Farting Leprechaun is harming anyone. say I had the desire to go and kill people, yeah, I'm harming someone. If I had the desire to like break into your home and beat you up, yeah, I'm harming someone. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, no, I'm not justifying that. I'm saying, yeah, if you're doing something that other people might find weird, but it's not harming anyone, like smoking weed or something like that, then why should that be gone, or why should that right be taken away? So that's yeah. If you don't understand that doesn't jive with you, totally fine, cool. But a lot of us believe in that we should all be able to do what we want and not give an F about someone else being offended by it. Well, thank you, AJ. I figured most of you guys would have that sort of sense of what freedom is. I mean, really, freedom's a word that gets thrown around a lot lightly. But I hold it in a really deep and dear sense. That's one thing I really like about and appreciate about our country. And if that starts, our freedoms really start getting diminished slowly in this way, it adds up over time. Yeah, I understand your question, Peter. I hope I answered it for you right then, like a minute or so ago. Well, here's what I think, Peter. I've seen a few older works of Disney, and I'm not talking about the ones that they don't even carry anymore, but ones they still have on like Disney Plus. I forgot which one, maybe Fantasia or something like that. It was some older works from like mid-century, like 60 odd years ago. And they put a disclaimer at the beginning saying, there might be some depictions in this movie that are not appropriate, but so giving you a warning about that they're aware of it, and it's not right or not perfect, but this is how the art form is made, and just be forewarned before going into it. I think that's one way to deal with that. Yeah, AJ, yeah, you're right. Digital books are definitely vegan, huh? Yeah, and Fantasia is an amazing work of animation. Yeah, one of Disney's best movies. I think it was a Fantasia where I saw that warning. I can't remember anymore for sure if it was that one. Anyway. Yeah, old cartoons, Uncle. In general, a lot of old cartoons are problematic. Yeah, there's lots of movies with like depictions, particularly movies like older movies like that, Peter, that are problematic, particularly from our points of view, our perspectives today. Should they be banned? I don't know about that, though. I mean, that we have to have a deeper think on that. Yeah, Dr. Bear, I know, agree. Yeah, they totally don't distribute Song of the South anymore. In fact, they removed all the characters from Splash Mountain at Disneyland that had like animals that were in that movie. Totally gone. Yeah, it is kind of that seems kind of extreme too. Yeah, these are hard issues. Yeah, but banning Larry the Farting Leprechaun, that's what I'm saying. That's something that should be a slam dunk, not banned. Just because you might not like it doesn't mean it should be banned. But there's nothing inherently like offensive, about it. Like if there's a depiction of like people of color or racial things, like in some of these older works of art and movies and cartoons, yeah, those are obviously have some offensive issues, but nothing offensive about a farting leprechaun. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about Jana. Yeah, we have a certain a-hole or two in our neighborhood too that regularly set off bombs and fireworks. It's unfortunate that people are so again, they think they're the main character. They don't realize they live in a dense urban environment, hundreds of other people nearby, dogs, people with PTSD. They don't care. They're the main character. They're all that matters. They're so entitled. I don't like that kind of attitude where they're the main character. They're so entitled. What they say goes. Yeah, Fritz. It's a good point. There's a good counterpoint, Fritz. Yeah, what we're talking about there, those older movies that reflect their less progressive eras from the past. They are part of cinematic history and should be discussed from our modern vantage point. Yeah, and that's what we're doing right now. Exactly. Wow, Uncle, you saw Fantasia in the theater? Wow. I guess you are from a generation slightly older than mine. Yeah, I don't remember ever being able to see that in the theater. I've only seen it since, there's been like VHS or DVDs and now streaming media. Yeah, Heidi, you can't really buy fireworks in California other than for the week right before 4th of July, but that still doesn't prevent people from importing them from out of state. I think Missouri is a big fireworks state. Yeah, AJ and I both like what you say there, Fritz. Yeah, Dr. Bear too. Yep, let me read Dr. Bear. Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't be banned, and I'll judge someone if they say this racist book is how we should live now, but they should still be discussed and criticized in context. Yeah, we should have a discussion about it. We shouldn't sweep it under the rug like this work of art didn't exist, and at this time, this kind of depictions, these sorts of depictions were pretty much normal. They were normalized. No one really, at least maybe people being depicted that way thought differently, but the vast majority of people creating and viewing that content didn't think twice about this might not be right or appropriate. So anyway, now you guys know a little bit more where I come from with freedom. I really truly appreciate having freedom, and have fears or concerns, I should say, about losing them slowly but surely in these kind of it might offend someone kind of ways. I really, really, truly believe in freedom. It's funny how that word's been kind of changed and co-opted by those who not have as much freedom. Anyway, I don't want to open up too many cans of worms there. I will end this live stream soon. Uncle, what's for dinner? I made a kitchery right before Angie was watching it as I started the live stream. It should be all ready for me now. So I should get going and get that sucker slightly warmed up if it needs to be, and have that soon because I am hungry. Dr. Bear says, I'm sure there are lots of things we do now that latter generations will look back on and criticize as well. Yeah, I know. It doesn't mean that maybe some of my videos, who knows if they'll survive the test of time, have some stuff that's wrong, but should they be banned or something like that? Yeah, they can just look back. Hey, people in the 2010s and 20s, they I can't believe they still thought like this. They're still Neanderthal, right? No offense to any Neanderthals watching. Yeah, Heidi, I think it's actually nice we can discuss here and still be friends. Exactly. Because you know me, I'm always going to be reasonable, rational, logical, and if I spot anyone spouting some theory I think is questionable, I'm going to make sure you are being consistent in your reasoning. Vegan pizza. That sounds good. Uncle, man, there's a good point. As I was talking about how I hold freedom really, truly near and dear to me, some people want the freedom to restrict yours. Exactly. And that's not what freedom's about. That's a perverted sense of freedom. It's again, bottom line, as long as you're not harming someone, effing someone up, you should be able to do as you please if there's no victim or anything like that. And anyway. What's that, Dr. Bear? I'm sure there are lots of things we do now. Yeah, that's what I just read there. Yeah. How most people eat animal products. Exactly. Exactly. The people look back on, hopefully in 20 years, gosh, can you imagine just people go to McDonald's and eat all these burgers and stuff like that? Wow, we're all talking about food now at the end of the live stream. Huh? No coincidence, huh? We've all been sitting here. Yeah, Bob, ideally, we have school choices. Exactly. Send your kid to the school that you want to. Exactly. The one that does not have... You got to be careful when you're looking for your school, go on the internet, and then find out, maybe you can search the library. Does this place have Larry the Farting Leprechaun? If not, yeah, we're going to that one. That reflects my kind of values. No farting. No farting tolerated in my world. Anyway, not making fun of you, Bob. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm gonna get going, guys. So my goal next week is to make a new video. Hopefully I won't have as weird stuff to deal with for who knows. I'm gonna try my best. And next Friday, hopefully the live stream will be here, meaning will happen because Angie's birthday is that day. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go down with the big rainstorm coming right before, so we will see how it all shakes out next Friday. So I'm just letting you know there's a chance it might not happen, but I think it will, because even if our plan goes as planned, we should be back by nighttime. I don't see us staying out all night in the cold weather, because for here it's gonna be like 20 degrees colder than it has been, so it's gonna be a pretty cold Friday night for us all. So anyway, good to see you guys, and thank you, Uncle and Peter, for having my back here. For I saw you guys put a few people in timeout, so thanks for that. And thanks everyone. Thanks all happy fam. Thanks all the non-happy fam. Thanks for being with me once again on Friday live stream. And once again, we talk about strange things. Sometimes it's vegan stuff. Sometimes it's not particularly. But if I'm talking about something for a long time like tonight, you'll know it's something that's kind of important to me. Not to say that should matter to you. I'm just letting you know why I went off so long on a tangent like that. So hopefully you understand. If you don't be bummed, we'll probably get back to regular vegan stuff next week, But yeah, I said, if you see me go off on a tangent, sometimes we'll talk about music for a long time, because that's something very important to me. So we talked about tonight as something I hold near and dear to me as well, something I value. And if you don't value it, you can ponder it. Ponder from my perspective, I'll ponder from your perspective, and hopefully we can all still get along. All right, guys, so I'll tell Angie happy birthday from you. Happy early birthday, and maybe she'll come in and say a quick hi to you guys next Friday. I don't know. I don't want to speak for her or anything like that. Who knows? But yeah, next Friday, Angie's birthday, guys. Yeah, and Peter brings a good point. Maybe do a subscribers or members only live stream. We'll see. Yeah, it's her birthday. She gets to call the shots. I'll throw that at her. But yeah, she'll do as it's her birthday, so we'll let her decide on that one. But that's a good idea there. I didn't even think about that till now. It's a good idea there, Peter. And I think you may have sent me some more video ideas, right, Peter? I'll take a look at my Instagram instant messages, and if you haven't, send me some tomorrow or something. Hopefully I'll have time this weekend to get started on something before all the birthday stuff happens. Sorry, so good evening to you all. Thanks again for being here on a Friday live stream, and I will see you guys really soon, and hopefully have some more content for you next week, guys. So peace, love, and remember, don't suck being vegan. See you guys. Take care. Bye, guys.